Greetings and welcome once again to Roman of the Empire. I am your host, Roman. Tonight, we are talking about the classic post-apocalyptic film, The Road Warrior, or as the rest of the world calls it, Mad Max 2, but we don't care about them. We're Americans. We do what we want. We have quite the Dogs of War panel with us tonight. With me, as always, is Shieldwall of Dragons. How are you tonight, sir?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Glad to be here. Thanks for having me on.
And one of the great minds of the interweb, Lord Umbrosa Imperiato, and I fucked that up and I hate myself for it. It is Matt the Unbearable 73. I got it right in the before the show, and I felt pretty good about myself. I feel less good now. Matt, how are you?
You have fallen before my wrath for failing to say my name.
Sorry.
I'm doing good. How's everyone doing tonight?
We'll listen to him. Why would we not? Author, screenwriter, man about town, Copa. How are you tonight, sir? Copa, Humungus.
Just walk away. Leave the gasoline and walk away.
All of us.
Leave your women and the gas.
Oh, God. CannoliSasquatch, the great unseen beast. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me back, and I hope we can all just shine tonight like Copa's head does every day.
You're jealous.
I am.
Dude's just jealous.
I am.
Copa Cabana.
Just ships passing in the night, bro.
And just like that. Sorry, everyone. Blair de Blair, my favorite internet wizard. How are you tonight, sir?
I am excellent. I'm looking forward to this. This is one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. And I think we're going to have a fun time talking about its predecessor and briefly about successors, because I think we may end up doing a separate show, maybe combining a couple of them because one of them isn't worth talking about very much. And I try to have him on the show a lot more than he's here because he avoids me like I have the bubonic plague, and I don't mind so much. It is that 70s rock fan. How are you tonight, pal?
I'm awesome, my friend. Good evening to you. And remember, just one man can make a difference, but that man is not me. So
I fulfilled my contract. So Jacob Ironside has already created a meme for tonight's show. I'm a little bit hesitant to show it. Jacob, why is the question that I have to ask. And remember, you asked for this.
Reveal unto them the meme.
Oh, God. Give me the pump. Give me the pump.
I'm uncomfortable, Jacob.
Calm
I'm
down.
uncomfortable with this
You
one
will have the
tonight.
gas and you will have vengeance.
God, I look like one of the Planet of the Apes there. It's a little unnerving. And if you'll recall, my co-host John is still yet to watch The Road Warrior, despite our efforts to get him to, just won't do it. So, needless to say, he is not gonna be with us tonight. Oh, Abomination AJ showing up late.
We can't upgrade his
Better late than never. It's Abomination AJ.
Heyo.
How y'all doing?
Doing
Welcome
well.
to the
Welcome to the
wasteland.
stream, buddy. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited to see the appeal of this movie.
Wait a minute. Do you also not like The Road Warrior?
No, it's not that. This is my first time seeing it.
Okay,
So
okay.
I just want to hear the perspective of guys who actually grew up with this in a way, seeing it when it was hot, as opposed to me who's kind of going back and seeing history in early movie making.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen any of the other ones?
So I had to watch the first one to watch this one. Besides that, no.
But you didn't. Okay. That's the beauty of The Road Warrior. It is standalone.
Yeah,
you don't
can watch all of them.
Off. Yeah.
I'll make that point when we get into it. Let me say something first. People understand these films, but when we're ready to go.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so
let's launch into it.
For people watching this, who are watching the movies, the way Miller set this up, they're all told from the future about the legends of Mad Max. The films, he deliberately makes them incongruent. There are things like Bruce Spence plays two entirely different characters, and Max's leg mysteriously heals in the third and fourth film. Like they're not meant to be just like in the Legends of Hercules, how he can be conquering Greece the same day he's swimming across the Asiatic Sea. They're not meant to be viewed as linear sequels. They're tales from the semi-post-apocalyptic future about this legendary hero who made things better for a lot of people. So you have to go into that context when you watch all four of these films, and if they ever do the Furiosa spin-off and the fifth one. So,
yeah, good point.
See, that's where I still, and I know you've told me that you've told me this at least 6 times already, and every time I still have a problem with Fury Road. But we're not here to talk about that. We'll fight about that show another day.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying you could view them all separately. Like I don't have to like every single Legend of Hercules to like Hercules.
Yeah, I didn't want to go into Fury Road because if I go off on it, I'm going to sit there.
No, we don't have to. I'm just saying.
But I do. You're like dragging me into it. You're like Lord Humungus. You're calling me out.
Just watch the movie.
Give it a chance. Walk away, and there will be an end to your horror.
Watch the
We're talking about The Road Warrior, or Mad Max.
Mad Max 2. This Road Warrior nonsense.
Look how jacked they made Mel Gibson in that poster. By the way,
it's very bizarre.
Right? The other thing for context for people who are younger than, say, me and Roman, is this lives in a time when the media was hyping up the possibility of nuclear war and the end of the world due to nuclear war and gas shortages a lot.
There were a lot of these post-apocalyptic movies around that time.
Dude,
this was, I mean, I don't remember ones before this. I remember several of them afterwards, but not
Boy
really.
and His Dog.
Boy and His Dog.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm a big fan of dystopian movies.
I forget about
They make me feel good. They make me
Logan's
feel
Run.
warm inside.
All right. So I hear y'all explaining the post-apocalyptic, but where the outfits come from?
Well, you see, back in the 80s, when the nuclear war was going to happen, one of the first
leather
places that
outfits.
got hit were leather. So everybody was going to get leather. And that was just the way it was going to be.
You're actually missing an important point here. This isn't post-apocalyptic. This is just what Australia looks like all the time.
This is just what it is now. Yeah.
This is a documentary.
Yeah, the good guys look like they're from American Gladiators, by the way.
They do. They're all cleaned up. They're wearing the white armor.
Yeah.
But
Cloth.
you got to remember that.
Semi-seriously, about Miller was very into the sort of punk rock type leather culture type of thing. He wanted that to be the imagery he used.
So George Miller, also director of Babe, the pig movie. This was from 1981. He was one of 3 writers on it. Terry Hayes, Brian Hannett were the other 2. Starring Mel Gibson, Bruce Spence as the gyro captain, Michael Preston as Papagallo, who is the leader of the folks in the compound.
Wait a minute. If George Miller had made Babe, surely Babe would have been barbecued before the end of the movie.
Yeah, they probably should have been wearing Babe, right? But no.
By the way, there's a name on there which some of you might recognize who played Wes, who was the Mohawk guy with the male lover on the chain.
Yeah.
Played by Vernon Wells, who played Bennett in Commando. Stick around, Bennett.
Yeah, Bennett.
Yeah.
And he was
Do it.
He was like a special forces guy too.
I don't need the knife, Matrix. I don't need the knife. I don't need the girl.
I don't need the girl.
I don't need the girl.
Then there's poor. How do we pronounce his name? Kjell?
I would just say Jell Nielsen.
As the near naked throughout filming, even though it was really freezing, Lord Humungus.
And that dude was in shape.
Yeah, that guy was jacked.
He was enormous.
He found the roids out there in the post-apocalyptic.
He was drinking the oil. That's
Boy, just sounds up on
oil. He was drinking diesel.
Mad Max 2.
I'm
What
going
did-
to lay it out
incorrect.
right now. I'm on Humungus's team in this movie. See, this is
I
a
am.
class warfare movie. Those bunch of white middle class squatters
Ah,
were hogging those resources for themselves.
Uh-huh.
He was trying to liberate it for the people. That
mm.
well, so I'm all team Humungus.
Yeah, did you see how clean they were in the middle of the desert? Like
Yeah.
they just had their
Yes.
uniforms
They look,
pressed
yes,
and ironed.
I still,
Yep.
well,
Showered.
we were talking about this just a little bit before the show, and once we get into the compound, the folks out there will see what we're talking about. Like, yeah, they have this nice white armor. The girls had like crimped hair.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was an 80s thing, of course. I mean, you don't see a lot of that in modern day. I mean, maybe that was like hip apocalyptic style. So I like the beginning of the film an awful lot. Now you're getting this narration. You don't know who the narrator is yet.
Mhm.
Talking about remembering the chaos,
Mm.
the juice, the fuel, you know, and how the world had become so dependent on it. And then the two giant tribes went to war, and the cities burned, and then man began to eat man. And then it talks about, you know, how basically everybody loses, but how this one man lost everything, you know, in the roar of an engine. This, and you get Max's very brief background. So he was a cop, and the gangs were running all over the highways and the cities, and it was just a hot mess. Mad Max is, we could talk about this now if we want to. I'm not a big Mad Max fan. I understand you need Mad Max to get the Road Warrior, but the Mad Max is a very uneven, slow, not very well filmed movie. That's my opinion.
Very 70s Australian independent movie. You know, it.
Yeah.
It's a very different movie,
Yeah.
indeed. And because
Going
it's
back
pre.
to
it-
the Knight Rider.
Mm.
It definitely shows its age and budget with the
Mhm.
with the
Oh,
first
God,
Mad
yeah.
Max. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes. Well, and
Yeah.
depending on when you watch it, you may either get a dubbed or undubbed version.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah,
Just-
that's right.
They dubbed over all the voices because no one could understand the Australian accent.
Quite frankly, Strathmite, Coba, that's fair dinkum. You know?
The other thing
We
about
may
that
need to get
movie,
someone to dub for that 70s rock fan.
the other thing about Mad Max is it's too green. A lot of the shots are in the green part of Australia,
Mhm.
Oh,
and it
yeah.
just doesn't say post-apocalyptic to me.
Well, it's sitting
Yeah.
on the edge, though. I mean, society is breaking down, but
Yeah,
it hasn't
he-
yet broken
That's the
down
premise, yeah.
completely. It's kind of weird. Like it's a gradual apocalypse.
Yeah, Max and his
Mhm.
cops are the last standard bearers of civilization. The
Yeah.
fuel is running out. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here
So-
we have
raining cats and dogs.
So my
So-
experience with
Max.
this movie, my bad, Roman, my bad.
No, go ahead, please.
So this was my first time watching this, and yes, I said I watched the first one, to watch this one because I'm showing my inexperience here. So again, I'm glad I'm amongst y'all. But when Roman told me he sent me the link or sent me the invite, I didn't even know what the movie was. So I was looking up the Road Warrior, and then I'm seeing like Mad Max attached to it, and I was like, oh, okay, is this what he's talking about? And then I figured, okay, so this is a sequel, so I have to watch this first one. I didn't know I had to do this much homework to prepare for the stream. And as I watched that first one, I was like, this is nothing like the Mad Max that I know of out of culture. I heard it was post-apocalyptic. It's barren, weird outfits and souped up cars. So this first one was nothing like that. But I was like, okay, so I guess the second one is where I will see that. And then this movie, it recaps and says, okay, I guess fast forward, all this terrible stuff has happened. Now we're here. And I'm like, okay, I guess this is the only Mad Max movie that the world really pays attention to.
So after AJ, I'm going to ask you. So you watched Mad Max and then you watched The Road Warrior. Did you feel that you really needed to watch Mad Max?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Right.
No, you can skip it.
No, yeah. He could, like I said, the first 2 minutes of this second movie explains everything. So I'm watching it and I'm like, I just watched the first movie again for no reason. An hour and a half of my life I just wasted.
and
and I was like,
Pretty
I
sure
was like,
Ma-
"Step back."
pretty sure Max
Yeah.
himself
Film,
never
you can watch them in any
references.
order.
Sorry, mate. Go ahead.
I'm saying they're all independent films. You can watch them. Technically,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
First one last.
Roman's right. You don't need to really see the
pretty
first
sure
one.
Max himself never refers to his previous life ever
No, he
in this or the
No.
third or the
No,
fourth.
he
movie.
only
No,
Max
he
only
just
has
only-
like 16 lines in this
Yeah,
movie.
that's what
Yeah.
he barely talks.
There's
He
little, I
doesn't
mean,
say,
there's
"Oh,
hints of
I
it.
miss my wife." You know, he never
Yeah,
says that.
no.
anytime.
Only towards like the end of the second movie is where it's hinted about what happened to him.
Chatty.
You know, but yeah, he doesn't bring it up. No.
In the early 80s like this is the best thing. The protagonist doesn't say anything. You know, like the Terminator, Conan, this.
Yeah.
You know, they have like very few lines, but yet they make
Yep,
such
most-
an impact.
Right.
Most Sylvester Stallone films.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah. Judge Dredd.
Thankfully,
Oh no, too much
So
talking.
Max's family gets killed off by a gang. He has his revenge upon the gang, and then he flees into the wasteland. What has already become no man's land out there, where basically the gangs run the roads like pirates.
Mhm.
I did get to see the tropes of this time period because the first movie, I think the beginning of the first movie, I get to see the teens in the woods having sex. So that was that was cool.
Congratulations.
you
Good job,
you always know someone's going to die. Then
Yeah.
I don't want to spread rumors about Australia, but when you get in from the coast, the inner part is already a halfway wasteland.
and that's what I was wondering. I mean, they would run out of gas within seconds. Never mind within weeks.
So
Yeah,
there-
yeah.
Thousands of miles
now-
of nothing in the first place.
Actually, so the tech in this is predicated on more efficient fuel vehicles. So they can they're talking about a 200 mile an hour or 200 mile per gallon vehicle versus standard vehicles, which is why stopping up just those little bits of gas when the cars are turned over makes sense in that context. If you're looking at it from standard stuff,
Sorry, that was my phone. Bob
Jamming
Seeger is
out over here.
Bob Seeger is my ringtone.
mine is the
All right.
TARDIS, oddly enough.
All right.
So the fuel. So 'cause I have those questions a lot too, and I have a super nerd friend who couldn't be with us tonight. Who I try not to get him on the Mad Max or the Road Warrior topic when we've been drinking, because he has what we call the Road Warrior loop, and he'll get stuck in that loop for as long as 4 hours. And you'll hear more about this topic than you'll ever want to know in your life. So that's
It's
where
more
I
of a-
got that little bit from. I'm like, man, I wish I could have him on the show, but
He's
he's
more
not
of a
here.
road rage warrior than.
I wish I could just leave him on the road. Anyway, so we have current Max, who is obviously more beat down. He's got a pet dingo of some kind. I like the dog. The dog is one of my
The
favorite characters.
dingo ate my baby. The dingo ate my baby.
Look at that guy. He's just happy. He's riding in the car, doing his thing, and he's like, "Hey, bro, there's some assholes behind us," and there they are.
Yeah.
Naturally.
So we don't know quite who this gang is yet. We don't really care. We just know that they are after Max, and this is the open warfare on the roads where the gangs are trying to steal fuel so they can just keep going. I love the vehicles in this. I'm actually going to say, and Copa, you and I may disagree on this. I like the vehicles in this film better than I did Fury Road.
Oh no, Fury. Yeah, this one. They really dressed up a lot of these vehicles really nice. I think
Fury
with
Road to me, they were just too over the top, too grand. This, I know they're obviously.
I think it's just a different clan in Fury Road, so you have like more spiky, sharp edges to them, and this one's more muscle. Like it fits with Lord
time
Humungus's stature of being big and muscular. So everything about his clan would be big and muscular,
So both big and muscular.
and humongous.
Copa noticed he was humongous, but for the wrong reason.
Actually, I meant to ask you.
He's huge, mungus.
He's huge.
You native North American fellows, as opposed to me, an adopted North American. Is humongous a word that was ever used in North America as like because
Yeah.
we used it in Britain all
Yeah.
the time. Oh, that's humongous.
Yeah,
you
we
know.
use it.
All right,
means-
okay, so it's
yeah,
not
it means
a
big.
British Commonwealth thing, you know, like Australia
No.
and Britain.
No.
Okay, right.
No.
Just wonder.
Now, see, I look. These guys are cops, so I wonder if they were part of Max's crew at one point.
They could have
The first
been.
one.
You know, a lot of these guys
No,
did
they
have
could-
cop
yeah,
outfits.
you get
Hmm.
that look. Oh, before I get too far into this, because I will, and then I will get absent-minded because that is my nature. Because I am, as we all have addressed, very old. We've got Jacob Ironside, Joseph Dredd out there, and Jacob again. Thank you for that meme, which made me look like the dog of ape. Replicants. That'd be Mrs. Copa Catania out there. Let's see. And if I don't sing it, I don't get it right, and even then, probably not. Mrs. CannoliSasquatch, Melvin Deeply, Invader Zim, welcome to the show. I thought I saw somewhere. Oh, Lasso of Truth, welcome.
Hey, Lasso.
The Union of Amateur, my eyes.
Amateur strategists.
Sorry, my eyes turned it into Stargatist, and that didn't make sense, and it still doesn't when you say it out loud. So,
Oh my
Wouldn't be surprised if there's one of those out there, though.
White Bear 2.
Whitey. What's up, Whitey?
Okay, I think that is all of you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, and as we talk about this fantastic film. But yeah, you got the cops turn gang, and you see this cat a fair amount. Him or someone very much like him because they had similar gear.
When the mask mandate started, I wanted one of those masks.
Oh God, yeah.
If I had to wear it, fuck it, I'll just wear that. You know.
Blair de Blair
God.
with the helmet and the glasses and the leather jacket.
That's right. I'm going to the store, honey.
Why? I need gasoline.
Yeah.
Do not question me.
Put the gas in my car and we walk away.
So he's getting chased down by these cats. And he's like, ah, damn it. They run across him debris in the road. Whoa. Accident.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking,
They're
there's
not
some
as
dude out there
disappointed
who
with that.
lives this life, who dresses like this, has one a car looks like this, and drives around. There's got to be some guy out there like that.
I mean, God bless him too.
Probably.
Talking shit.
Yeah.
He probably lives in LA.
Yep. He's living his best life in LA.
So the car chases in this are really the filming on it. I love.
Great.
Yes.
Going because you get it from so many angles. There had to be a better way to say that, but the shots, you get the whole picture. It's not just this. It's not just that. You do feel like you're very much immersed in the car chases.
Mm-hmm.
The vehicles become characters themselves too.
They do because there are certain they become either the menace or the hero.
Mhm.
And I like this. So he's about to get shot with an arrow. He hits the brakes and it goes into Mohawk guy.
It goes into Bennett.
Then it goes
Right into
into
his arm.
Bennett.
Bennett. Yeah. Bennett.
And so there's just a lot of things are twisty, turny, crashy here.
That's a good description.
And
Yeah.
Twisty,
very-
dirty, trashy.
Very descriptive. Yeah.
I was I noticed in especially in the first movie, and y'all was saying like how it was different, like it was some type of Australian movie. It didn't seem like formulaic, like I was used to seeing with movies. I don't know if that's a time thing or a geographical type thing, like different areas. But yeah, it was the first one. I was like, okay, what is really happening with this? Things are just kind of happening. They're organic, but no, they didn't feel like a movie formula. In the same way with this one, there's a lot of stuff that I was like, man, if this was made now, it would probably be CGI, like especially the dog.
Oh,
they don't use
yeah.
practical,
Oh, yeah.
like
Oh,
actual animals.
Yeah.
This is all practical, all stunt drivers and
Well, I would kind
especially
of
rigged
yeah.
up cars
he
and
did do Fury Road practical as well. So
yeah.
Yeah, I think with Fury Road, the only thing that was like added in was the backgrounds and stuff. But everything, all the crashes and things that you saw,
Cars,
in
it was all
camera
practical,
It was all
yeah.
practical.
Mm-hmm.
So should I watch the rest of these movies?
You should watch Fury
Sure.
Road. That's for sure.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would skip
that's a good
over
one.
number 3.
Number 3 is okay. I mean, if you want to feel like you have to continue on just to see how maybe the differences.
I feel like I do.
Hey, you know what? The third, me and Roman had this discussion on Twitter a while back. Like the third movie, half of the movie's really good, the other half is eh.
See, what happened was, I believe Kennedy, the producer of this, passed away in the middle of filming 3.
Yeah.
And George Miller didn't feel like continuing it, so they gave it to another guy.
Yeah.
And you can tell that it's a tale of two movies. The first
feel
half,
that.
Oh,
yeah,
you
the
can
first
see
half
it,
of the movie is rock solid.
Yeah.
When they're in the Thunderdome. I
If you
that
love
is
the
just straight up
setting,
Mad
like
Max.
I love all 4 because I love the setting, right?
Yeah.
And plus
Yeah.
Tina Turner's in the third one, and I love Tina Turner, so that's all.
Actually, I didn't like Tina Turner in the movie. I don't like the use of
Well, I like Tina Turner in anything. Tina Turner could be in like
Roman,
nobody
keep your
likes
kid
this
quiet.
movie, Dad.
Yeah.
Keep your kid quiet.
Roman, are you suggesting there shouldn't be pop stars in the post-apocalyptic future?
Well, she looks actually, John. This is for you, buddy.
It's
My
a
son.
Tina Turner is a rock star. She was doing rock music in the 60s. Well, it's not.
And-
see her
in the
live.
80s.
She's awesome.
Yes.
She came back
and,
80s big.
I have nothing against Tina Turner, but I felt that her
I'm glad
in
to
the
hear it.
role. Stephen, are you out there? Oh, Stephen, you're here.
I
there
just
you
got in.
Snuck
Just-
in like a thief in the night,
Stephen.
like the Pharaoh.
Steven.
Making
Well,
noise.
as soon as Copa started talking about some guy in LA driving a car like that, I had to jump in.
Yeah, see, there you
Oh,
go.
we knew it was
he knows
you.
him. He knows him. He's on the 4th Street Bridge
It's
right
Steven. Steven's the guy. This is how Steven goes around in real
Steven.
life.
now. It's Steven.
Steven's loving the life.
So my problem with Tina Turner as fuck, I forgot her name.
As the
Auntie.
villain
Auntie?
or leader.
What was her name?
Auntie.
Auntie.
Something. Is that
Miss-
she was distracting from the film.
Mm.
Because I didn't see the character, I saw Tina Turner.
She's too well
And that
known.
maybe that's
yeah.
just me and my poor infant-sized
No,
brain.
you're right. She was too well known.
She don't need
I-
another hero.
I didn't like I didn't like the fact of what they did with her at the end. Like
No,
everybody
but I
else-
didn't like. But you're already. But you've deviated. I mean, like I said, as soon as we left Thunderdome, and he went out with the stupid thing on his head. Fuck that. And
Yeah.
and then the damn children found him.
Right.
And I don't want to get all this.
Him and the
Also
children.
is-
There's another
Kids ruin
major,
everything, don't they?
The kids ruined the movie. So
There's another major problem with Thunderdome in that I think it's like a PG-13.
Yeah.
Not
Oh,
an
really?
R,
I don't even remember. It's been
and
so
that's
long.
a
Wow.
big
Yeah.
difference, and it really detracted from it. In my
feels-
opinion.
Yeah.
You got to look for the more violent cut of all 4 of these movies.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah.
But anyway,
So,
to answer AJ's
Yeah.
point,
Yeah, so AJ, I would definitely finish
Oh,
it to get your own
yeah,
perspective
watch them all
on it.
once,
That's all.
and if you like the setting, you like the setting. If you don't,
Yeah.
well, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I hate to watch a movie if I haven't seen the previous one. So that's why I did. I made myself watch the first one to this. Even though, yeah, it might be different, but I would like to see the shift, the change.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and you certainly
that's
do.
that's always a great practice with a franchise like this. But one thing that always surprised me about this franchise was that they practically stand all on their own. Each film. I
Yeah,
mean,
we
the
talked
first
about that
one,
already.
the
Yeah, we were
second one,
Yeah.
By design.
they're really solid.
But with that build up though, I
Oh,
was
there he is.
yeah, these
Yes.
dudes.
Hi, yes.
Yep,
Yeah.
they
Stop
identify
it.
as villains.
No, no, wait a minute. Wait a minute. So
Yeah.
you just know that Wes there has been up the furry road, not the Fury road.
Well played, sir. Well
I
played.
think they call it dingo down there.
Think,
Well, he's still got the arrow in his road, not his brother, by the way. They got shot, and him ripping this arrow out was really intense because he's doing it really slow, and Max is watching him. Then he lets out that
Yeah.
look, very similar to the meme that Jacob Ironside made of me earlier. And Max is like, dude. And so he's trying to get the gas from the vehicle that smashed into this, like I said, because every little bit of gas does count. Because that's the 50, the 200 miles per gallon theory, which makes a lot more sense when he's sopping it up in a rag and trying to save every little bit he can. And here we are. Yeah, there we are. The shot of that.
Well,
Yeah,
in the
right after
1970s, in the world, we were on. I mean, I was a little kid, but we were on gas lines, and not that we were this bad, obviously, but people were stealing gas from each other. I know, like one of my older relatives literally had to beat the crap out of someone for stealing gas from his car. I remember just watching that.
Well, when the 1974 Arab-Israeli war was on, they almost reintroduced petrol, as it was petrol rationing in the UK.
They did in the US and parts of the
they were that close to rationing it, like full stop.
And the nice thing is, we might be revisiting that again. So,
Back to the Future. Back to the Future.
Oh, look at that guy! He's over there munching on a kangaroo, just happy as can be. And you got the weird.
That's why AJ liked this movie, because of the dog. He's
look, man. I know we spoiling it. I hate when the dogs die in the movie, but the level that this movie took it at, I just expected it. And so no, I hated that.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, man.
He's a loyal companion, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
Smart as a whip too. God,
I've got a theory though. That's the same dog as in the movie A Boy and His Dog. That's my theory.
So the dog is the character.
The dog is the continuity between universes.
Boy,
So with that, I know they sometimes they choose like different animals that'll play the same character though. So it could have been a thing where there was a limited amount of healers at the time. Maybe, I don't know. And could have seen the same dog somewhere else.
Well, there are celebrity dogs who play dog role. They're like actor dogs who play dogs in multiple things or whatever.
Yeah.
Wish I was an actor dog, man. That's a life.
Jacob.
Yeah, I know. I'm not gonna let that linger too long because we'll wander. So Max is checking out the truck, and
I thought that truck was the same truck at the end of the first one that nails that guy, but I think it's a different one.
No, I don't think it's the same. I don't think it's the same truck.
I think that the grill in the front is kind of thing.
The vehicle he's smashed in, who's taking fuel from, dies with a horrible scream. Whatever. This is the hand of the body that falls out of the truck when Max opens the door. It's very bloated and really, really gross. But he finds this little music box that plays "Happy Birthday." And he's doing it.
Morbid, but the fact that body is like that means it's not very old. He died
not super old. No, maybe a few days because it's probably hot out there. Maybe a couple weeks. But he gets this little smile on his face when he's playing it, like it's taken him back for 1 second, to a not so horrible time, and then it goes away immediately.
Yep. Yep.
Well, that was the I guess his meta journey of this was waking up to be the hero as opposed to the wandering zombie,
just the guy in the wasteland.
Yeah.
And that's the narrative that you have in the beginning as well. He came to the wasteland to find, to live again, essentially. So he's just off, and now he's on a dirt road. We don't know where the fuck he's going. We don't care. It's not important. But he comes across this weird little helicopter thing.
Hey, can I make a comment on this? Because I watched a bunch of people react to this movie, and nobody knows what this thing is. It's embarrassing to the invention of the gyrocopter that nobody knows what the damn thing is. It's terrible. This thing is a brilliant piece of engineering that really exists. It's one of the few aircraft that is almost impossible to die in an accident coming to the ground, because
as we find out later,
the gyrocopter is continuously trying to gather airspeed. So it's like it's an instant parachute. It's built into the design of it.
Right.
I appreciate that fact because I was wondering how did that dude survive that crash?
Yeah, it's a slow falling vehicle because it's always continuously falling minus the velocity you're moving forward, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Is that Max's bathroom in the back there hanging from the window?
Probably.
Could be.
Yeah, it's a piss bucket.
Yeah.
He's going to find it hard.
We talked about that. We need
He's
one
like,
of those in the
I'm pretty sure just
studio.
outside the car is a giant bathroom.
He'll find it hard to reach it from there.
That's true. That's true. That's
Yeah.
gonna be
The
an
dog
effort.
gets it. The dog will get it for him.
That's his Thunderdome.
So,
That's fun.
Yeah,
oh no, that's horrible
good.
and brilliant at
Oh.
the same time.
Yeah.
You know, that 70s rock show, this doesn't this remind you of the gyrocopter that was in the James Bond movie?
Yeah, I was just thinking Bond.
Yeah.
Thunderball, was it? Was in Thunderball?
Yeah, I think
that was
I think it
Thunderball.
was Thunderball,
Yeah,
right? In
yeah.
Japan.
Well, no, was
Nelly, I
Thunderball-
think they called her.
Nelly. Maybe it was You Only Live Twice then.
No, I thought it was Thunderball. I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember now. But
No,
yeah,
it's You Only Live Twice. That's absolutely
Yeah,
correct.
I think-
Thunderball was the one with
Damn
the
my brain.
if it's in Japan, it's You Only Live Twice. But
You
yeah,
Only
that's
Live
one of the
Twice.
earliest on-screen depictions or uses of one, I guess.
yeah.
This is a nice shot, though. We got the
Right.
the footprints going away from it. Max coming around to see, just what the fuck is going on here, and he's approaching it, and there's a snake
Mhm.
hanging out on the gyrocopter, and Max is hissing at it. It's hissing at him
Max is thinking
And-
food.
because he's thinking
Yeah,
food.
lunch,
He's not thinking about
dinner.
the vehicle. He's like, "Fuck this! I don't give a shit." And then out of the ground pops the gyro captain, and Bruce Spence is just fantastic
He
in
was
this
great.
role. He has the worst teeth on
Oh, yeah.
any.
Now, I do have a question here, though. Was he just lying in there all day in the hope that somebody
Wait.
would come up?
He was just waiting
Yes.
for Max.
I mean, it seems a bit futile, given there's like one person per 10,000 square miles. You know?
Yeah, I know, right?
It's true. But
You,
I mean,
you know
he's
what?
waiting
Actually,
around.
if you think about it, he might have heard him coming down the road or seen the
that's
dust
true.
kick up.
And then got
Well,
him.
He's buried in the
Yeah.
dirt. It'll keep the sun off.
Actually,
he's
there's
got-
a story point that happens within this film where they both notice smoke rising off the distance. So he may have seen the accident Max just
Hmm.
participated in.
Remember, he
Yeah.
has a
Prepared
giant
for it.
telescope. Remember,
That's true.
But remember, he already has a trap here. He's already got that hole. That wasn't like there.
Right.
He planted this with the snakes. I mean, this is something he does. Now he may have locations that he changes to, but
I
this
think
is
they
kind of his
show-
MO.
I think they show more of this area when Max comes back. That there's other
Yeah, he comes
stuff in
back
the-
through here.
Like
Yeah.
there's other stuff. Like that's maybe one of his camps or whatever.
Nice shoes.
He does this weird little dance. I think this is the show that the sand is hot.
The sand is
It's
hot.
funny
yeah.
because he's just like, ha, 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 and he's got these whatever the fuck he's got on his feet. I don't
Copa
know.
wears those.
He's like the quintessential crazy Australian outback guy.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
Sun poisoning.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
Fried.
got cannolis. He's got cannolis yoga pants on too.
How did you know?
Whose scarf is that?
Oh God,
That's Roman scarf.
I could pull that off. Are you kidding?
Oh, easily.
Has anyone ever seen the film The Cars That Ate Paris?
No,
No.
I-
Bruce
What?
Spence was in. It's Peter Weir film where it was set in Australia. It's about 1973. But it's a town called Paris in Australia where they cause car accidents. They wreck cars deliberately and then sell the salvage, and that's what.
Wow.
So it's kind of a forerunner of this in a sense. It was an Australian movie by an Australian director about car wrecks. It's
well-
kind of neat. But Bruce Spence was in it. Yeah,
And
it's
Peter,
one of-
and Peter
one
Weir's
of my
no joke.
yeah, it's one of my favorite movies. It's a great movie.
Wow, I didn't realize he was acting that young.
I
That's
agree,
a long
man.
time
Yeah.
ago for him, Peter Weir.
Peter Weir's the
Weir,
director,
He's the director.
Oh, wow.
and
but
Bruce
he's the one.
Spence was
He's the one who directed Witness and Master and
Oh,
Commander,
he's a
and
good
he's
director.
an
Peter
excellent director.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
know that. Wow.
Master and Commander is one of the greatest movies ever
Oh,
made. in
That
my
I
opinion.
love.
It's
that
one of the
movie.
greatest. It's such a travesty that movie never got a sequel, even
I
though
know.
it didn't even
Oh,
break
I know.
budget.
And
'Cause
now
I
they're
love
all
the
too
books. I've read all the books. Love them.
Yeah,
Absolutely
books are
love
good
them.
too.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
now
Quite
we have the gyro captain. Looks like I got myself some gasoline. Huh? Huh? He's being weird. He's like, and then Max is
buy
like,
another shrimp
booby
on the
trap.
barbie.
Yeah, right.
That's exactly what he was.
Buy another snake
stereotype.
on the barbie, will you, Max?
Yep.
And
Says
so-
the Scottishman.
I know. Well, like most of Australia is Scottish anyway. So,
We're, we're a very diverse show.
Yeah.
So he I've lost my train of thought. You guys fucked me up.
That was the
The
point.
car is booby trapped. And Max is like, if you try to take it, which is the sound effect he actually makes.
Yep.
So he's under here trying to he's got a knife under here, which he plans on grabbing, but Gyro Captain's like, I'm gonna, nail your head to the car or something to that effect. And so he does not. He gets up. He's like, whoa. And then he opens the car door and the dog jumps out and attacks the dude. There's the dog in the background looking playful. He's just having fun doing dog shit. Max pulls a knife on him. And this is where the Gyro Captain tells him about the compound, though, the refinery. He's like, thousands of gallons, all you could want.
Guzzling.
And he's like, they're not going to let someone like me in, but a smart guy like you. And the dog just keeps pulling on him.
The dog doesn't like this guy.
And so now we're in the car, and this is, I know it's a small scene, but I love this scene a lot. Where he's tied to the chair with a shotgun at his face.
Yeah.
The dog's just got the trigger.
The dog's holds the trigger.
I love the part where the dog sees food outside the window and he's like, oh shit.
He's like, oh, good dog, good dog.
Yeah, he's like, ooh.
That was great.
It's just Max does not. It just shows. He does not give a shit about the guy, and the dog he's the dog. The dog's name is Dog, by the way, which is convenient.
Yeah.
So we're at the refinery. The Gyro Captain is in shackles, and they're just kind of getting the lay of the land. They have camels. Now the bad guys must have shown up here not too long before this scene because the camels are just in a pen here. They're not protected. And then you have the compound. You can see they're pumping oil. They got a refinery going on, and it's all hooked into the systems. They got these great blowtorch weapons. And there he is, the man himself, the Lord Humungus.
I salute him.
Dude is jacked.
He's a great man.
He's just a guy.
Who's dressing like that this Halloween?
Dude, if I could,
Funny thing is, he probably dressed like that.
I would dress like that all the time.
Right?
Yeah, he probably dressed like that before the apocalypse.
It was just convenient.
I can wear a loincloth all the time.
So here we get the guy and his brother show up, telling Lord Humungus about what just transpired on the road a little ways back. Lord Humungus is like, all right, you're kind of a fuck up, whatever.
Did you offer them to walk away?
Yeah, right.
So blonde dude on the bike, that's his brother.
Not his brother.
No,
not his brother. Not his brother.
Although they're pretty
Pirate
close.
brother.
They are close. They're close.
Okay.
Very close.
Very close.
To anyone underage listening, what you shouldn't be, he's his brother. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Max,
you have impressionable ears there, AJ. So just go on with the brother. Idea.
Yeah, keep going with that.
It was a lot for me to process happening in this movie, but
It's one
You
of
could
those
clearly-
as
you
a
could
kid, you
clearly
thought
pi-
that. Yeah.
yeah, as a kid you didn't understand it, but then you watch it as an adult and you're like, oh yeah, they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like I know who I'm rooting for in this movie.
I think poop
Easily.
is appropriate.
Yeah, they got a bonus to their ESG score.
Right.
Before it was cool.
Speaking
the
of
Gyro
before it
Captain's-
was cool,
Yeah.
hey, did Mike Myers steal his act, or did he steal Mike Myers' act? I mean, the timing is a little sus.
Halloween's older. Like what? See,
Yeah, but this is a
Halloween's
time
all-
travel
how-
piece. This is going on in the future. So, is he inspired by Mike Meyer? Can we see it the cinematic way, or should we look at it historically?
That's
Well, he's
interesting.
wearing a goalie mask. So that's Jason.
Jason.
Yes, Jason. There you go.
True, yes.
Thanks for the correction.
and Mike Myers
Mike Myers is
wearing a William Shatner mask.
William Shatner's
Yeah.
mask. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
So
Now, if he was wearing William Shatner's mask,
well,
Then
that would
obviously.
also be a really weird look. I mean, even weirder.
But that's a good question, Steven, because he does look a lot like Jason.
Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same
Well, this
hairstyle.
movie was 81. Friday the 13th was it Before, I don't
It was
remember.
before, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but
remember,
but the
Jason
first
Voorhees wasn't
he
until
wasn't in the first
To the
one.
third,
part
Second
third
one.
one.
two,
No,
right?
Yeah, 2 or 3.
But he wore like a burlap bag over his head with one eye open
Yeah.
Yes.
and big overalls, so you really couldn't see anything.
Yeah, it took
Right.
a minute to
Three.
get the hockey mask face. I think
Three
that
was when he got that one. Yeah.
You think he
Okay.
was in? You think he was in the woods playing with different looks? Like, oh, I don't know,
Yeah.
like burlap.
Does this
Mask
look
with
my
one
face
hole.
look bloated?
Mhm.
yeah.
Right.
Can I get your opinion? But the dead body is just staring at him with one eye
Right.
out. His socket.
Flannel.
Oh,
Whoop
don't
my
be
ass
that
look
way.
big.
Don't give me that face.
Stop looking at me.
Stop playing dead with me.
The dog
So
food
well
scene is
trained.
also another great scene.
Oh, this is awesome.
So,
yeah.
so Max has the gyro captain chained up, and he's like, "The deal was you'd let me go if I showed you where the compound was." And Max like, "The deal was I wouldn't kill you." So he's keeping him around. The dog is sleeping here, all belly up, next to the gyro captain, who is sleeping also belly up. And Max is opening this can of dog food, dingo treats or something, and he's just munching on it, and he's just so happy. He looks so satisfied when he's eating this. I'm like gagging, like thinking it smells like Dinty Moore beef stew. And you open that, because
Or it's gotta be rotten by now. How old that can must be.
so
Yeah.
Got this
gyro
wooden
captain's got a spoon.
Look at that dog's face, like, bro, hook it up.
Yeah.
He and the gyro captain have the same.
Save
look.
me
It's
some.
Great.
He's like, give me some of that canned food. I'm gonna eat the prisoner.
That's what I always found interesting about the gyro captain is that, well, one, he has flowers on his jacket. Like, what is that? Even that? And then he has stuff like, you know, the big telescope thing. He's got a wooden spoon.
Yes,
It's like he always
yeah,
has
yeah.
all this weird
So-
stuff on him.
Mhm.
So the
You know.
way the gyro captain and Max play off each other is they're mirror opposites. So while Max isn't really in touch with like his feminine side or anything like that, the gyro captain is. Max is just dressed all in black. The gyro captain is filled with colors. Max drives a car. He flies a helicopter. So they're mirror opposites of each other.
It's a gyrocopter, damn it.
The role was written to Bruce Spence's known, somewhat crazy reputation.
Yeah.
Both
And
roles. The
little
one in
point
this
to
and the one in the
trivia:
third film.
this is the mouth of Sauron.
Yeah. Well, Bruce Spencer's done a lot.
He's
Look
done
at
a
the
lot of
filmography. He's
stuff.
all over the place.
Yep, he sure is.
Just look
Yeah,
for
he
the
was
teeth.
in Dark City.
Yep.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Dark
yeah.
City's another one,
Things,
man.
yeah, he's been in
Man,
a
I
lot of
forgot
things.
about
We do a
that.
stream about
And
Dark City.
sadly, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen as well.
Well,
Oh yeah.
what's wrong with that movie?
Nothing at all.
There's nothing wrong with it.
a perfect movie.
Oh, hi,
Perfect,
Sean's in the
perfect.
chat.
There's a
Oh.
perfect movie.
Who was he in?
It didn't have
League of
taste. It was
Extraordinary?
like lumpy water.
I believe he was Dr. Jekyll.
Jekyll, yeah.
Okay,
Oh.
okay. I was about to say
yeah.
he looked like he probably that was the only
He
character.
was, he was the train man in the Matrix movie.
Watched him
Uh-huh.
in, he was in a really good Australian movie with Eric Bana a couple of years ago called The Dry. If you ever seen that, The Dry. It's more of a detective thing, but it's pretty good. He's a lot old. You can tell he's a lot older in it. He's playing like a grandfather or whatever.
Yeah, the dry
So,
just came out like
actually, yeah,
last year.
I saw this,
last
Jacob.
year. Yeah.
Um,
It's a good movie. I
about-
like Eric Bana.
You mentioned before the Cars that ate Paris. I mean, he was in that.
Yes, that was 73. So he's still
He's in
acting. Still in
Queen
stuff
of the
today.
Damned, too.
Yep.
He was in that movie.
Yeah,
He had a
so
bit
he's
part.
working.
no one should ever talk about that, Blair.
Yeah, okay. I agree.
He's not happy he was in it, so let's not bring it up again. Excuse me. Oh yeah, but yeah, they ultimately ruled that out as they didn't want to have that tie-in, Jacob. But yeah, I read that as well. The Humungus that they talked about that being his partner from Mad Max, but that they pushed that aside as not being.
You're supposed to
canon.
kind of guess that when they have a close up of the back of his head and you see all the burns and kind of like the. veins
Actually, I just
popping
love
out.
the way those veins throbbed
Yeah,
in his
they
head.
throbbed. I mean,
Yeah.
he's
I'm not
suffering
gonna
from
lie.
the biggest migraine.
I found that mildly arousing. I don't know why. but
Really?
It was pretty
Wow.
hot.
Are you going right? You go ride bitch with Vernon Wells?
Only mildly.
Jeez.
Hey, I got my leathers on for it.
Big veiny humongous, huh? Okay.
The big
You know what Robin's
Oh.
into.
That's
Goddamn.
also
Wait
available
a minute,
at
wait a
the
minute.
F Street Adult Store. Oddly, it may be on sale now after the
If
show.
Roman was in this movie, his character would have been called Big Vein.
And AJ's thinking, what have I gotten myself into?
Again.
He just needs to see the other ones to get it.
I thought it when I was watching this movie, and now hearing y'all talk about it, yeah, I see what I got myself into it.
Can't escape anymore.
Yeah,
Too like now, Bruce.
y'all was trying to figure out who was wearing that outfit, but it's really all of y'all who's gonna pick some character to be this Halloween. Somebody had the shoulder pads with the feathers.
A lot of assless chaps coming soon.
Yes.
Yep.
Great.
Off the rails, Roman.
I know.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
It's not hard for us to get there. So the gyro captain and the dog, who are now friends, share a snack. Max is just keeping an eye on the compound to see what the fuck's going on down there. He's getting. Oh, it is funny though, because the dog's eating the food and the gyro captain's trying to get the dog, and then you hear the dog go, arr, 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 and he's like, oh. And then he's smoking it out. He gets
They're not
Yeah.
friends. They're not friends. The dog was tolerating them.
whatever the snout couldn't reach.
Mm-hmm.
And they hear some movement going on down there, and they're going home for the night because I guess they got better shit to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They got to pick out their new leather outfits for the next day.
Yeah, right.
Does this look good? How does this make my vein look?
How does this?
All right.
These chaps look fine on me.
Yeah, right.
They saying how much of the leather
looks fine, but your right cheek, I don't know.
Yeah.
they saying how much they gonna cut off for the next mission.
Yeah, how much?
Yeah.
It's hot out here. I gotta have some air go up there.
Yeah.
This stuff's all really well filmed. I do love the distance shots of the refinery with the vehicles moving around. It's all extremely well choreographed.
The lights,
beautifully
done.
done.
It looks, and that's where we go back to like the difference between the Road Warrior and Mad Max.
Oh yeah.
The cinematography in the Road Warrior was kind of not, or not the Road Warrior, but Mad Max.
Mad Max. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, that was like two guys with a shaky cam.
Yeah.
Whereas the Road Warrior, go ahead, go please.
I'm sorry, I was just going to make a comment that with a lesser director, they would have gotten into all of this action because they would have had all of this go on, and then they would say, okay, we need to get close-ups and B-roll of all of this going on. But no, he stays far back with Max, and it's such a smart move to just shoot this all with long lenses.
Yeah.
And be with Max and the dog and the gyro captain.
Yeah,
Right.
you know, Copa, that's a fantastic point. You know, a lot of these contemporary directors, and this goes out as a note to all you young directors out there, try to keep the camera focused on the perspective of the story. And that's Max, right? We're not supposed to know everything. Some of this needs to be maintained as a mystery so that we can get to the bottom of it. You know, that mystery breeds tension. So don't go destroying your tension just to get a few cool shots in.
What was cool about that whole sequence is he really couldn't hear what was going on. He'd see it, but you couldn't hear it.
Yeah.
And so you were watching these stuff happen, but you were basically separated from it. It was, you know what I mean? It was like, like watching drone footage or something.
Another insect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing with these four films being the Legends of Mad Max. There are no explanations of anything that happens. Like why do they think going to this place is going to be good, the place they want to go to, or what? Why anything? It's just part of the story, and he just moves on with it. You know,
yeah, there's a few other moments like that. That one time that the guy dressed as Patton holds up the Paradise brochure.
Oh, no, hold off on that, Stephen. Hold off on that. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Or even,
but we're living in a found world, right? Everything is post-apocalyptic. Everything's been found. Everything's being reinterpreted.
Right.
Well, it's like, how did this refinery survive?
Exactly. Right. And who are the technicians that know how to keep the refinery going?
Right. You make the assumption that the people who are there were there before, or at least many of them were, because that's not just a skill set that you can figure out.
But who puts a refinery in the middle of the desert with no roads leading up to it?
The goddamn Australians, dude.
It's all desert. Australia is all desert. Doesn't matter where you put the refinery. It's always going to be in the desert.
No, he's serious about that. Inland of Australia is all desert.
Oh no, yeah, the
Much.
coastal regions are it.
There's some swamp, I think, in the north and south. But otherwise, it's all desert.
So Dingo
literally
hears
a
some
raptor.
noise, and there's some action happening down at the compound. The gates are opening. This is before the Humungus and his dogs of war have returned. The gates open and vehicles go in both directions. You get a big group of vehicles, or some vehicles. They go out first, and Max is like, dude. And then the Humungus and his crew, or some of the crew, take off after them. And then a secondary vehicle comes out, just kind of solo going the other way. And and he doesn't last very long. They take after one of the vehicles, and it lasts like, this isn't very well thought out. It doesn't seem they really have their shit together. Because this lasted like under 2 minutes before the first vehicle crashes. So I assume that we're supposed to think that they are looking for something to haul the tanker at this point, right? Am I right in this?
So,
I've seen the movie a billion times, and that's always been my impression.
Yeah, they're out there scouting, trying to find something.
Yeah. What I always took it as is they were trying to send out people to either call for help or go do something, because you don't realize they have the tanker till later.
Well, that's true, but that doesn't mean that that's not what they're doing.
No. But what I mean is, when I saw
what you were thinking, yeah,
right. When I first saw this as a kid, I was like, okay, they're sending out scouts or somebody to go try to get help, to figure out a way to, because they're surrounded. So they, kind of like the Alamo or whatever.
Right. But there's no help out there. There's nothing. There's nothing.
All right, I got a question.
So yes, AJ.
Why are there no guns, really?
I think all the ammunition ran out.
They're just out of ammo.
Yeah,
Just-
I mean,
Yeah.
You see how the leader of the bandits opens up a decorative box.
Yeah, and he's only got like 5 bullets.
Yeah.
That's why those flamethrowers are so effective, because they don't have anything to counter it with other than arrows.
And remember, Max tries to fire the shell, and it fizzles out on him.
I think it was a thematic idea. That, because if you had guns and you could be sniping people and stuff from too far.
Well, think of the question this way: there are 9 of us on this panel right now. How many of us actually know how to make gunpowder? Raise your hand.
Ooh, I could suggest a few ideas, but no, not
There's
really.
one.
Yeah.
So,
Answer your question.
I know how to strangle people with piano wire.
Well, I can do that too, but I'm saying
That's what our people do. We throw people in rivers.
Yeah,
that's true.
Why get messy?
Gunpowder. I mean, that's how the world's going to be. If it collapses, you have a prime skill like that. But logically, in a nuclear war happens, so probably 90-70% people died for that. Then the fuel shortage happened. I mean, how many people left know how to make gunpowder?
And also, it's Australia too. So if this is America, I wouldn't buy it. But Australia, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they had the mandatory gun buyback, didn't they?
Well, that was way before this. This movie came out way before that. That was in the 90s.
And there's another note that I want to make much more clearly at the end of the show, because the conclusion of the movie leads back to the statement I'm about to make, and that is that this is being narrated from the deep future, and the boy may not even have known that bullets existed.
All 4 of the films are
so.
Like that.
Yeah, it needs to be taken that this is an unreliable narration of a mythological piece about Max.
True. Yeah. But remember, in 4, they have the bullet farm. There's basically, the ammo manufacturer. You have the fuel guy and you have the ammo guy.
Yeah, but that was probably before this, and that was like another location.
And also, that I don't consider that movie connected to the other 3 in any way, shape, or form.
No, I don't either.
It's
Fury Road?
Fury Road?
Yeah, Fury Road.
Yeah, no, me neither. It's
None
almost a separate universe.
In any way, shape, or form.
Exactly. Yeah.
I could talk my theory about why they gathered so much tech there. I brought it up with Roman before.
You and I talked. Let's hold on. Let's hold on that, because, like I said, I want to do a show on that one. Because it does have a lot of things that we can. I mean, that one alone has just tons of bits that we can pick apart.
Well, you can talk about it in this movie alone. Think of that one guy in there who's a mechanic who knows how to refine oil, the disabled guy. In most circumstances in this setting, he'd be left to fend on his own. He's disabled. but because he knows how to refine
he's got
oil,
skill.
Find all that,
Yeah.
fix all
do
that.
the
yeah.
mechanical stuff, he's the only one in there, and he probably hoards his skill. They have to cater to him, you know.
And this
Well,
is
do you
the
ever,
wasteland. There's not a lot out here that are fighting for fuel, food, like everything.
anything.
So bullets would be even scarcer than hen's teeth.
Right.
Well,
you
even
know what,
Walking
Blair de
Dead-
Blair, that's another interesting point, too. Even if you did know how to refine top-grade gunpowder, where the hell would you find the resources to gather the materials? I mean, you'd have to start up a mine and find sulfur and stuff.
Yeah.
Fairly common on the surface to find the basic materials. In a while,
But you
like
also
that.
have to be able to press the bullets. That's the other thing.
Well,
and the right caliber. Of bullets.
I think you would always have to make sure that you kept your shells.
But you can make muskets and flintlock. I don't want to go into the tech of it. You know, I did a lot of research. Like there's other things you can do with gunpowder besides make high-powered rifles. You know.
Yeah, but the other thing about that is you need an environment where you have the time and the ability to focus on doing that. If you're fighting for survival from day one, every minute of every day, it's extremely difficult to set that up, no matter how much knowledge you have.
But also on that issue related to what Steve and I were talking about with the mythology of this is the little boy telling a fable. Humungus is pure evil. So, like you think in a more realistic scenario, the guys and they say, "We'll give you some fuel oil to leave us alone to give us food." They have plenty of it with a refinery, right? And that would be a good working relationship. But that's not going to happen in a fable where Humungus is leading the forces of evil against Coyote Boy and his people, you know.
And these people have devolved too.
Humungus is the good guy in this.
He's the hero.
It's those middle class settlers behind their gated community that are keeping those resources from the people.
The bourgeois class.
The bourgeois.
Those
bougie.
Yeah.
Those
Well, I
bougie,
think
ugly,
William
crusty
Wallace
white
might take
people with
issue
their
with
clean
that, you know.
uniforms.
And here they're spraying their wealth and flamethrowers that don't go 5 feet.
So,
They've even got a hairdresser in there, for God's
They
sake.
do.
Yeah,
Who does hair clipping? We haven't met them yet. So Max and the gyro captain are watching the poor hapless folks coming from the compound. The gyro captain whips out his big telescope.
Oh yeah.
And Max sees it and he's like, I'm using that, dude. Which I funny scene.
Get a little envy there.
So they take the two down. There's one woman. She doesn't meet a very good end. There's that fella and his brother again. They seem to be
really close.
It's like a feminine Billy Idol.
Plastic Phoenix.
They shoot the male. They just plastic Phoenix. Oh my God.
Don Gator.
Ouch.
Oh
Their ears
no!
are ringing right now.
He shall be known as Don Gator.
There you go.
I'm gonna clip that tail there.
Just put the little icons on the head, bodies, and there you go.
So Don and Gator are riding off, and the other guys are and this is the guy who raped and killed the female.
Yeah, I want to say a point about that. So they rape her, then they just kill her. It's like, goddamn, really?
I know.
Like a one-use container? No.
Yeah.
Women seem to be kind of a rare commodity out here. You
They're
could
at a
have, you know,
premium. Yeah, I mean,
you could have raped her several times. Come on, people. Let's use our heads here.
Yeah, I mean,
And
true.
that, just in case anybody is actually listening.
No, but from a narrative perspective, that's
No, but you're
absolutely
right.
correct.
From a narrative
Why would
perspective,
you
it's like,
do that?
it doesn't
Yeah,
make
I
sense.
mean, keep it as a
Because-
slave.
Because resources.
A little kid telling a story about the bad
Food.
guy.
Right.
Yeah,
This
you
one
wouldn't
goes
want to
right
keep them
back to the
alive.
mythology.
And I'm pretty sure he dumped inside of her. He's not trying to take care of a kid. So
Whoa.
Why couldn't they have chopped off they could have chopped
kind
off
of
a couple of her limbs and eaten them and kept her alive for a bit longer.
That's true. She could have been a food
Yeah.
source.
That's true.
Yeah.
So Max is
Kind of
coming up
extreme
on the
birth
dude,
control.
and the dude's like, "Hey, buddy, can we be friends?" And Max is reaching for his crossbow. Max is like, "Nah," and he smashes him in the head with some cable cutters.
Mm-hmm.
And the dude's still alive, and he's like, he's trying to thank Max. He's like, "Thank you." And Max is like, "Look, I'm just doing it for the gasoline, man. I don't give two fucks about you."
That's right.
And this
Don't
is
care.
Max's story arc. He hasn't awoken yet. You know, he's still in the
No,
leadership
he's
mode,
No, he has no empathy for the guy. He's not actually trying to rescue him. He actually
Max
doesn't
is
give a
not
shit
even
about
a
him.
reluctant hero. He's just on his own.
No, he's like survival mode.
He's not even a hero until he's forced, and I mean forced to be a hero.
No,
And
and he admits that. He admits that.
Because we don't need another hero.
Exactly.
Oh,
And thank you
man.
for being with us, 70s Rock fan. We hope to see you next week.
Music.
And this is
Oh,
where we get to
God.
meet the Feral Kid. I love the Feral Kid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The
he's
Feral
good.
Kid is great.
Y'all were
The
saying
kid
that
was
kids
like
ruin
way
movies,
messed
but
up.
he was cool in this.
Well, that's because
Yeah.
the Feral Kid didn't fucking talk.
That's
if the
right.
Feral Kid had talked, he would have fucked
That's
up
right.
the movie, but he didn't.
No, all he did was growl.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I called him Coyote Boy. I just that for years. I still call him Coyote Boy.
I called him Bam Bam.
He's
I
got
think it's hysterical.
Yeah.
How many
I like
people
that.
were shocked in the
Shaka.
audience that saw this? And I know a lot of young people reacting to this movie are totally shocked that a boomerang could be that dangerous. And it's like,
yeah.
I
yeah,
love that shit.
duh.
Yeah.
That's what
The
they're
razor
for.
boomerang.
That's why they
Especially
were
make it out of
invented.
a bladed weapon instead of
That's
just
why
wood.
they were invented.
That's right.
But in the context of the story, as deadly as he is with the boomerang, and they're all horrible with the bow, he should be showing them how to use a friggin' boomerang. All those guys would have been dead already.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a myth. There's no logic to it, you know.
Mm.
So when we come back here, so we meet the Feral Kid. He's got his boomerang. We also see that the compound where the camels were is now toast. So that's when I said those guys couldn't have shown up very long before Max, because the camels were still alive, just in a wooden compound, and now they're cooked, and not even like cooked to eat. They just burned it like a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
So Max is bringing a new friend back, pulls him out, and he's walking towards he takes his weapons off and everything. He's like, whoa, not dangerous, not the bad guy here. And they're like, turn
I
around
come
so
in
they can see it.
peace. I come in
And one of
peace.
the gals is all freaking out. I forget the dude's name. Let's call him Randy. And she's like, Randy. So
This is mom. Yeah.
Yeah,
They-
losing her
they-
mind now.
there's Feral Kid just keeping an eye on things. He's like,
He's giving him the look, isn't he?
and they all rush out, and they make him drop his weapons, and they're not impressed with him right now. They think he's a fucking parasite, which he is.
Right.
But it is what it is. It's the wasteland. He's just a guy trying to make a deal.
Look how white they are. My God.
That's what I'm saying.
They are very white
Clean
people who
and
live
white.
in the
To me
desert.
of colonists.
Yeah,
Yes.
that one chick always looked like she came out of like a jazzercise class or something.
And so
Head-
she died in 2001 of some kind of cancer, unfortunately. Yeah,
The younger chick with the
yeah,
top
the
one?
hot chick.
Yeah.
But in
She's like
terms
the hottest chick in the movie.
in terms of
Oh,
her
yeah.
character, you got to know that every guy in there is hitting on her all day, every day.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, she likes guys with bad teeth, apparently. So.
apparently, that's it. So
That's a very
if you
English
like
thing.
hot Australian chicks, fellas, let the teeth go.
Don't brush your teeth for a year.
I thought it was cool that she has the same hairstyle I do.
Copa be coping.
Copa's doing his thing.
Max comes into the compound and he meets Papagayo, and he's like, "Hey, me and this guy had a deal." And Papagayo, and I don't know if let me see if I have the frame here. The guy kicks off, he dies. And he's like, "Well, whatever deal you had died with him. Get him out of here." Although they don't, and I think they're getting him out of here when Lord Humungus and the baddies show up again. And they bring his vehicle in. So now they got his shit. And you got the crippled mechanic feller back there.
This guy.
And he's got
his
lovely
bum.
hair. He looks like he might have been in Jefferson's Starship, not Jefferson Airplane.
No, see, I was thinking,
That's right.
I was
He
thinking
does.
Tears for Fears.
He built this city. You know.
He looked like he was in a Clash video, Rock the Casbah or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey man,
yeah.
there's no beautician around, He can't always look too cool. He's got to just let it be in the dry air.
Funny thing is, his face is dirty, but the white part of his suit is mostly clean, which is really impressive. For
Right.
a
Yeah,
mechanic.
that's what
Yeah.
irritates me is that they're all clean, man. Like they just got their clothes out the laundry and then they went to battle.
Well,
that's the
dude,
kids-
it's like
that's the kids remembering
mythology,
from it,
man.
though.
They're so crystal clear. It's
Right.
like white and black. It's good versus evil, dude. Like, try to dig it, man. It's cinematic art.
Dig it.
That's
That
the
gets so weird
booby
so
trap
fast.
off of his car.
So
right?
yeah, he's showing him.
Groovy.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
well, it'd be a shame to blow it up. The last of the V8 interceptors.
Yeah, he knows
And
his
Max
stuff.
is like, God damn it. And then they go, and then they're threatening his dog, and that's when he actually gets mad. He's like, no, don't touch the dog, don't touch the dog.
Look at that knife.
They gotta-
Look how
they-
shiny that thing is. It
Beautiful.
has never seen work in its life. My God, these people are just.
I think that 70s rock fan is onto something. These guys
Yes, I
need
do.
the gasoline taken away. They're too
Honestly, there's white settlers, they're gated community, bourgeoisie,
Yeah.
class warfare.
Yep.
They probably got an HOA.
HOA, yeah.
Take it from them. They've got a hairdresser, for God's sake.
They've
Take
got
it
an
from them.
HOA.
There could be a robot chicken where they show Humungus' city where they're like, did you hear what happened to Lord Humungus? He was just getting gas for us. No savages murdered him.
So AJ, did AJ leave? Is he out feeding the dogs?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Looks like he
AJ,
took
okay,
a,
so
yeah.
AJ's feeding the dogs. I know. I just wanted to ask him about his opinion of this compound that we're finally inside now, since this is his first time as a viewer. So
Well,
Lord
they have a
Humungus gets
tanker.
back.
So they got the tanker, but they don't have anything to haul it. That was their problem.
Right, that's
Right.
their dilemma.
Yeah.
They've got this big fucking thing, and they got no way to get out of there. Which, on the surface, and is a little bit peculiar, given that this is a refinery compound.
Well,
It's not much of a plot hole, just because the world's falling apart. You can see how these things can happen.
Okay.
right.
In the context that there's no plot because it's a myth, right? But my logic always was there were a group of people from that area who said, wait a minute, there's this old refinery out there. Let's get whatever we can, put a wall around, try to get some gas so we can make a run to the shore. That's kind of like my mental
thought-
logic. That's what's
You're
going on.
onto
I thought-
something there, because if these
Oh, there
people
he is.
had been there all along, why the hell are they still there?
Why are they still there?
They
So
could have been out
AJ,
here months ago. But they must
Yeah.
have just got
Yeah.
here not that long ago themselves.
Right.
AJ,
Well-
what are your thoughts on the compound?
It was another case of me seeing like where I guess tropes, I don't know if there's a better word for it, but those ideas, those plot points in movies, it reminded me a lot of this game called Borderlands. I don't know who played
Yeah.
that, but
That's a good point.
So
yeah.
I saw a lot of those similarities. So although I didn't grow up, like I said, with these movies or watch them, I see how they did influence later storytelling, especially with this post-apocalyptic type thing, putting all the materials together, scarcity of stuff. So I've seen this later on. So I was just like, oh, okay, this is where that idea comes from.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
certainly
movie.
one of them.
This movie influenced so many
Oh,
other
yeah.
properties later on, like Fist of the North Star, like the Humungus and that gang is directly
Yeah.
into
You
that
brought that
comic.
up,
Yeah.
Shieldwall, on our last comic stream, the Fist of the North Star, and it was funny. So I was talking to my super nerd friend about this movie, and I mentioned the Fist of the North Star. He's like, yeah, because he even knew the tie-in for the Road Warrior and the Fist of the North Star, which
Right.
looks. And then I told him it had 800 episodes, and he made the same face I did when you said that. I was like, fuck yeah.
And also
So-
the way that the base is set up and how things are, that motif is very Fallout, the video game
Oh,
world
yeah,
of Fallout is
Yeah.
totally this.
So AJ, you brought up Borderlands. Actually, I've had him on my panel before. A good friend of mine, Mark Darren, worked for Telltale, and they picked that property up for a time. And he actually worked on the Borderlands when it was under them. So I like this shot. You see that hill in the background, and that's the hill that Max and the gyro captain have been observing it from. So you're getting that nice perspective of the layout of the land and both views of the zone that they're in right now. It's good. It's good use of that little bit of turf.
There's a lot of in the 70s, a lot of movies with this sort of general post-apocalyptic visuals, like with George Papard and Jan Michael Vincent, where they had that supercar.
Oh, Damnation Alley!
Damnation, yeah.
Good call.
Or
Fuck yeah!
the giant rats and everything in there, and the radioactive desert. There was a TV series similar to Damnation Alley where scientists had to use, it was called Earth 2 or something like that.
Oh,
where
yeah.
Yep. Then there was oh god, there's so many of these, a bunch of Italian films in the 70s, which I don't remember.
Yeah, a lot of post-apocalyptic.
Yeah. It was a bit. I mean, for those of us who lived it, I don't know I know AJ's. No offense, AJ, you're kind of a kid, I guess, given some of us. But I know, Roman, you're around my age. Blair, I think you're close to my age, not around my age. 80s and the 70s with the gas and the nuclear war and Cold War and all that. This was the rave. This was the thing,
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the genre.
The Doomsday Clock.
Tabletop role playing game, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and After the Bomb. And if you're old enough for role playing games,
Yeah.
So that was.
There's another thing to this that's actually very interesting. Horror movies had been getting away with this low budget attitude of just find a house, just make a costume, have a creature and a bunch of teenagers, and you're good to go. So this was the science fiction action film version of that kind of budget model.
Yeah, the hills have eyes. It's similarities to the hills have eyes too.
Fucking guy,
Logan's
so
Run.
creepy, dude. I hate that guy. Every time I get lost hiking, I just assume he's gonna pop up, make me a sex slave, and try to eat me.
Oh yeah, Planet of the Apes. I mean, I love Planet of the Apes, but obviously those were future apocalyptic, not.
Inventor Zim makes a good point. It doesn't have that kind of hue of a desert. This is like a natural shot of just what the outback. This is around Alice Springs in the middle of Australia looked like back then. And it was just it was a desert, but it wasn't like some kind of made up crap. That's just the way it looked like. I think it looks a lot better like this than that like desert hue that he's talking about.
I agree. I like the clean lens.
Yeah.
I think it's a nicer shot. So you've got the couple of captured fellers who are not living their best life right now, attached to the front of Lord Humungus's vehicle. And what's his name? Toady. And this is where he makes his grand announcement when they park, and he does the thing. They're all revving their engines, and then he does stop, and he does the Ayatollah
Rock-a-rolla. It's so actually out of place in some ways because it comes completely from nowhere. This, I mean, there's no real rock and roll, but just to use that phrase it's so hip in a sense.
Yeah, I know. And he's like his hype man or whatever.
Hype man. It's like Harold hype man. Yeah.
So Max and it's either Don or Gator make eye contact.
That's Don.
And they're like, it's like, oh, that's Don. Okay. Like, I know
he's the top. He's the top.
And then you get to see Lord Humungus's little clan closer. You get weird bug looking dude.
Yeah.
And here's Toady again, and he's giving his speech here. And you're right, it is peculiar and out of place. I don't know what is on his uniform there. He's got these just strange items.
Car medallions.
Everybody has this kind of
car thing, car logos or whatever.
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I'm trying to read them and I can't because I'm ancient. But
he's wearing a tie, so it's
he's got like a.
Oh, it's formal. Formal
occasion. Car salesman or something.
Yeah. God only knows what this guy was doing just before the whole world came to kaput, right?
Well, I know it right now, but I'm glad they did not run out of hairspray in this post-apocalyptic future.
Is that a woman?
God. Yeah, that's a SJW protester back there.
Yeah. You assumed its gender.
Whoops.
I'm just basing it off of that chest.
Well, back in '81, there were still only two. There were only two genders at that point.
Yeah,
that didn't change until fairly recently. But yes, she is probably protesting something. So
and that did not stop these guys.
No, nope. Let's do the just walk away speech because this is where we are right now. We're at the just walk away.
And I just want to make a comment. I can't believe they didn't take the offer. Just walk away. We'll leave you in peace.
It's only if
we totally won't chase you down and rape you. No, we won't.
No, exactly.
Rank you would? Okay,
look trustworthy.
He's a man of his word. Yeah.
So that's for those of you. So this is Lord Humungus is basically saying, just leave the compound, leave the fuel, just walk away. Just walk away. We won't harm you.
Walk away, Rennie.
Just walk away. And it's
Would have
like,
been funny if they just opened the door and said, "Okay," and they take off.
Yeah, yeah.
and Humungus is
All right,
like,
no credits. It's in a movie.
Movie's over.
Back after this is all over and Humungus is home to his town at his funeral, someone's going, and Lord Humungus is going to let them walk away, a man of peace. How can they do this?
Humungus the merciful.
You know what I always looked at, like especially this shot, like how he has that neck brace thing. Like I was like, what are those metal thing? What's that do? Is his head messed up to where his neck doesn't work? So he has to wear that thing to keep his head erect.
It's possible. You've seen his head.
Yeah, his head's burnt.
I mean, it's
and it's got that throbbing vein that Roman loves.
That throbbing vein.
That vein, that big vein.
That's what makes the vein. It like constricts his skull, and you know, there you go.
He wears the neck brace in vain. All right.
It's instead of his cock ring, it's his head ring. You know, he's gotta do what you gotta do, man.
I think that's
so dude is just kind of screaming, "Don't give them anything! No, no!" And Tony's like, "Shut the fuck up, man!" And then this dude just headbutts him. He's like,
"Yep."
He should have kissed him.
And then that pisses off Harold.
If it was made today, he would have.
That's Gator's thing. So Feral Kid throws the razor. Fuck.
Well, you know, you work with what you got left over, so obviously,
I guess so.
It's a very white area.
So fucking Feral Kid throws the razor sharp boomerang right into the side of Gator's head. And he's down.
Oh no.
Gator down.
His brother. Oh.
It's like, not his brother.
The poor
brother fists.
The assless chap shot.
Oh, but he does have like a nice covering of the crack and infiltration area.
Yeah,
well, nothing goes up for him. It's the other guy who takes it.
That's right. That's right.
But he likes to be complimented.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And right now he's just thinking, he's talking to the Feral Kid. He's like, "Are you looking at my ass? What'd you think? I'm in need of a new brother."
Yeah, right.
I don't need this brother to kill you. I don't need this man.
I used to work for Disney.
So Don's really upset, and he rushes to Humungus. He's like, "No, we have to take them now. We have to take them now." And Humungus is like, "Do it my way. We're doing my way. You rest now. I'm putting you to sleep."
Someone we love.
So he's giving him some heavy love. He basically in a sleeper hold. He's like, "No," and he has his boys carry him off, and he's like, "I'll give you 24 hours to think it over." Because I'm a reasonable man. Look at me. Clearly, I'm reasonable.
I'm a man of peace.
I would trust him.
I mean, duh.
He's also way up on the health thing. I mean, he's masked up. He's good to go, right?
He's got his vitamins, his protein shakes.
Yeah, he's been vaxxed and boosted.
Supplements
for sure.
are good.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Just extra careful. Too much dust going around.
He wants to breathe.
Doesn't want that valley fever.
They all fuck off and leave. And then this broad's like, "Listen to him. He's a reasonable man. Just walk away. We'll be fine."
He gave his word.
He wants to screw me in the ass and then kill me.
Should be the first one. Yeah.
And he'd say, "You're right. You're right.
Hey,
I would
boss.
not do that."
No, he just wants
No
that
way.
humongous.
Welcome to the show, buddy. We got ZAXX out there in the chat now. We have Pops, two of the major players
legends
in the YouTube community. Some great guys. They wouldn't just walk away, unlike this prod who's just way too trustworthy. And so this is that dude's mom. I guess we're led to believe who kicked off early, who Max had to deal with. She's an idealist. I that's fine, but she is also way out of her fucking
There's
depth.
always one.
You're out of your depth, lady. You're out of your depth.
I'm dead serious. They must have like a tractor trailer full of hairspray around.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But her
Oil,
teeth look
hairspray.
pretty good as well.
They
So, I
found,
mean,
you know,
They
Aquanet
got
laying
fluoride
around.
in the water and everything.
Listerine laying around, you know.
Yeah, the
So
Tide,
here's other-
you know.
here's other hot girl in the compound.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
like, "Place girl lady."
The hottest.
I like
She was in
everybody's like,
Farscape.
yeah.
She played
And
Zom.
Papagayo's like, he's like, fuck off. We cannot trust these guys. Are you insane?
She's wearing.
So yeah, we walk away, and then what?
She's
Yeah.
Then
wearing
we
the
have
sur-
nothing. We have no food. We have
She's-
no, we have no fuel.
She's
And he's
wearing
not
she's wearing the surplus costumes from Space 1999 in that show.
Yeah, really.
You got a generic Mr. Generic Mick Jagger over there who's the leader.
Guys, that's what it totally reminds me of, dude.
It's the lips to do it, you know.
Yeah, that's what it is.
For fuck's sake, Keith, talk English.
You know, it's funny. It's funny how we're commenting on this. This is supposed to be like a little bit into our future. And if we consider the world we're living in right now,
Oh, we're not
these
far
are the
off.
people that survived, right? So,
Yeah.
of course,
Somehow.
they're half broken, socially maladjusted, maybe
Oh,
with
yes.
strange politics inside their head, and they're desperate, starving, and looking at the edge of death all the
Yep.
time. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there's going to be some strange
Sorry,
discussions.
Is that we're talking about the present day here, aren't we? No,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yes,
that's what I'm
also
saying.
breast-
That's what I'm
Not
saying.
too far
broken-
distant future.
We're
Just
talking
for a
about the
minute
Road
there.
Warrior.
For a
Like
minute
next
there.
week future is what we're talking about, right?
Well, listen, I got a lot of desert around me, so this won't be anything new to me.
Right?
I'm ready.
Look how clean his shave
You know,
is. as
funny
well.
enough,
Man,
I don't
I
know.
don't know what he's
Shave.
using. You know, Gillette, Harry's. You know, he's looking good.
He's
I don't know much about
his
him.
burlap
Preston,
sack is barely dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Really?
Preston there, the actor. You
Mhm.
mentioned if the like knockoff Mick Jagger. He was actually a musician before Mick Jagger was.
Really?
He's
what?
a
Oh,
pop-
now-
he's a
makes
pop
sense.
artist from the 50s.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
What's his name?
Holy
Mike
trivia.
Preston.
Oh,
He was in Destruction of Jared Sin.
Yeah, he was
He
in
was
Metal
Jared
Song,
Sin.
Jared Sin.
Oh, I know who he is. Yeah,
Like he was a musician in the 50s and became like a TV and movie actor.
No
and
kidding.
like-
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yes, indeed. That's Matt proving his trivial skills right there, kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
A
Well
brain
spotted.
Matt.
this big. It's beautiful.
If
That's
you've
great.
seen enough science fiction films, you've seen this guy a dozen times.
Oh yeah, he was in a lot of stuff
Yeah.
around this
Interesting.
time.
Yeah, Metal Storm, like you said. Airwolf, he was an Airwolf. I remember that much.
That's
wow.
right.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't remember
He
him.
was
in
in Alien Nation.
I've
Oh, wow.
heard one of his records
Yeah.
though. Yeah, Dirty
I
Old
think
Town.
put, like,
He
six
did a
different
version.
characters in the Highlander TV show.
He did a version of Dirty Old Town. I remember that one. Yeah, way back. Yeah.
Well,
I
he's
think this
British.
is our future.
Wow.
Humungus is the male feminist.
Right?
So
We don't
this
even know
guy,
what Humungus identifies as.
Humongous
He's
is
the
the male.
Josh. He's the
Humongous
Josh
is-
Whedon of his time.
Yeah, Humongous is the
Oh,
male
God.
feminist. That guy we just saw is the checks in the male feminist.
Yep. I agree.
Humongous for president in 2024.
I'm Team Humongous.
Team
It was time
Humongous.
for Humungus to drop the act.
The world needs a man.
Humongous used to be a store manager for 24-hour fitness.
There you go. That's how it happened.
He would just let the Russians leave Ukraine. He would just let them leave.
Right.
Yep.
Just walk
Walk
away.
out.
Just
That
walk
was
away.
He said these vaginas ripe for the taking now.
That's what always kind of intrigued me about this movie was I always wondered, what did Humungus do? Who was he before this?
Oh,
Who were all
before?
these people before?
Right. We
this?
know. I mean, we know who Max was, and that's really about it.
Right.
Right.
And he's unrecognizable as a police officer, by the way. So,
Yes.
yeah,
At this
who
point,
was
yeah.
all of these people?
Well,
Yeah.
the little boy doesn't
Yeah.
know he's a police officer when he's telling the story.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
true.
the little
too.
boy knows nothing but what he remembers seeing in these scenes.
We know that, but he doesn't. And
Yeah.
Well, he
So
just
here's
knows him
the,
as
uh,
the Road Warrior.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's the road warrior. That's all he is to the little boy. So he's got the music box that fell out of the dead guy's hand at the truck, and he's playing it for the little boy. 'Cause the little boy pops out of a hole like a fucking weirdo, and there he is. And I
God.
well,
Oh.
when he's listening to the music, I don't believe he's ever heard music before. I think this
No.
is something brand new to him, which is why you get the reaction that you do. For him, it's almost like magic.
Mhm.
Think about it. If you've never heard something like that before,
True.
what
They
the
don't have any,
fuck?
no electronics or anything or records.
Nothing.
Or,
Yeah.
No, you've just got
Yeah,
this little
and-
thing, and he just gets so excited.
Another script point in that as well is that at this same moment, Max is working out that there's a trailer truck that he can go get. He's figuring out a plan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe he's just playing that music and it's coming to him like, wait a second, you know what? I can figure out a way to get the hell out of here and get rid of these bad guys.
Yeah,
he's observant. I mean, that's one of his big skill sets. Is Max is a good seer.
Yep, problem solver.
Isn't anybody else wondering why nobody in the compound took the kid under the wing and was like, here, let's brush your hair. Yeah,
he's biting everybody for the first
C, D, you know.
Because that's how the little boy remembers
is.
it. I mean, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, AJ, you train dogs.
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah, how you train that kid? What
Yeah,
would
how
you
do
do?
you get that kid
Maybe
to, like,
maybe
talk?
he was just so feral that he refused to be trained.
So we were just saying earlier that like the kid probably didn't remember, which makes sense. People probably wouldn't be making ammunition at this location. Sure, there are people out there, but the kid just didn't come in contact with them. I think because of, and y'all were also saying you would have to be there for a certain amount of time to actually be able to start doing stuff like that, like creating ammunition. So maybe education just wasn't high on the priority list, and they were like, "Well, he's efficient at what he's doing, so
that's true.
Let's not overload him with thinking. Just be a beast."
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
Go out there, huck your boomerang and grunt a little bit.
Yeah.
And we'll
If we point at it, just kill it. So
if you go with my theory that this is just a bunch of people that got together to ad hoc, the kid probably just saw a bunch of people and said, "What's going on over there?"
That's
true.
true.
We
Too.
got,
He could be an
Wakazashi's
abandoned
tea house.
orphan.
Yeah.
Hey, Gray.
Well, Gray,
Hey,
hello in
here we
Japan,
go.
brother. Another one of the great content creators out there. He has his comic book things are the thing that makes me want to look for comic books again, because comic books largely suck, but Gray always finds the good ones. So check his channel out too, please. Papagayo is at this point talking about getting the fuck out of there, but he's like, we need something that can haul this the tanker. And they're all, look, she got the hands on the hip, so that's never good.
You know what their outfits remind me of? The rebel uniforms on Hoth in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, they look like they look like hand-me-downs from Hoth.
Yeah.
I was about to say this looks like the people in Obi-Wan. That series.
Oh, the show on Disney. Yeah.
The desert people, all the raps and
yeah, especially George Patton there with his
Patton,
helmet.
Yeah, and the girl with the dog looks like
the aerobic instructor.
she's gonna do aerobic workout. Yeah.
Jazzercise. Go. Let's go.
Okay. Sorry about the jazzercise. I won't do it again. So this is the great line from Max.
Oh, this is great.
2 days ago, I saw a vehicle that could haul that tanker. You want to get out of here? Talk to me. Because they're all like chatty. He does the whistle thing, which I can't do, and then gets their attention.
And this was after he picked the handcuffs.
Yeah. He's like, fuck. He's, I don't require these.
Yeah.
and then they're like, okay. I love the look. He's just like so fucking self-satisfied here.
Yep.
Apocalypse.
Olivia Newton-John.
Hey, don't think that wasn't on somebody's mind when they did this.
Physical.
What are we going to do with this costume? I have a few ideas. I got this Olivia Newton-John image in my head. Maybe we could do all the women with like aerobicized gear. It could be so cool. It'd be so great.
I don't believe in your aerobics. I like Pilates.
Hey, I am the costume designer. You are the director. Okay, take your hat, put it on your head.
So now they've got Max has them all at the table because they, what the fuck are they going to do? They don't have a lot of options here. He actually is bringing
good points up.
Bringing an option to them, and then Papagayo, it's either him or one of the women's like, really, what choice do we have? Yeah. And he's like, well, you got a deal because
Mick Jagger says, let's do it.
Yeah, because he wants like 5 gallons of diesel and a gallon of high octane or something like that.
Well, he talks about diesel as high octane fuel. He has to explain what diesel is to these people.
I thought he wanted specifically a different fuel as well. Am I wrong?
I think he needs something for the gyrocopter.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. He needed something
for the gyrocopter and for the truck.
Well, his interceptor is. I guess he doesn't need.
Well, because remember, he's not looking for fuel for the interceptor at this point. Right. He just wants the deal is all the gas that he can carry in exchange.
Yeah, he doesn't say gasoline. He says diesel.
Yeah. So, well, he needs a diesel. Yeah, he needs a diesel for the semi truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have to know what fuel to give them because, like you said, 70s. They probably just came there. They weren't people who were there already. So they have to make sure they get their fuel blend right, or else that truck ain't gonna get there.
Right.
And that's where they're making their little deal. Liberty, blah blah. Yeah, let's give him the fucking stuff. So now he's exiting the compound at night, which is smart because Lord Humungus.
Yeah, they don't work at night for some reason. That's weird.
No.
Well, I think they had a pretty good union.
Union.
And they go back to sundown.
It's funny.
So little feral kid's getting some love here. That's nice. And so
it'd be weird if she's breastfeeding that kid at that age. Oh wow,
he's like 10.
So many things go through my mind.
Blair de Blair. This is not the time, my friend.
That's a different show.
That's right.
Yeah. That's the Roman's OnlyFans show.
Yeah,
and it's true. It's the only fan show.
Right.
Get it? Never mind. The ball fan will make a comeback. So, he didn't have to go very far to find the truck. He knows where the truck is, but apparently, no one else has the means to get the truck off the road. So it doesn't really matter. You would think, this is me as a strategist, that once Don and his brother had been on the scene and they saw the truck, they might report that back to Humungus that they have a vehicle that is capable of dragging that big ass tanker. Maybe they don't know about the tanker at that point. I guess that's possible.
Yeah, I don't think they can see it behind the tires.
Yeah, they probably don't know yet. That's
so Max is walking out with the gallons of gas on his shoulders, and he takes a misstep and he falls off an embankment, probably a good, few feet, and makes some fucking noise. And this dude's like, "What was that?" And the kid makes some howling noises, and they exchange nods and allows Max to go on his journey. So he's hiking along. That shit would be heavy, by the way. And Max doesn't look like he's that well fed. I'm actually amazed he was able to pull this off.
Dude, he had all that dog meat out of a can earlier.
That's true. A lot of protein.
Yeah.
That's
that was meat and veggies.
He's dragging this dead ass, dry ass.
I love this.
And Max has got like 200 pounds of fucking diesel.
And you've forgotten about the gyro captain at this point because you've been so immersed in what's been going on at the compound. You kind of forgot this guy existed, but Max didn't. And so he went back to look for him, and he's gone. He's like, "What the fuck?" And so he sees the trail. He starts following the dog's like, "Fucker! And he goes after him. It's just so funny.
Good night, Greg. Greg's gonna leave.
Hey, Greg. See ya.
Have a good night, man.
Oh, good night, Greg. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Or good day, sir. Have fun.
Yeah, that dog thinks he's a chew toy.
He does. I love it so much.
That's awesome.
And so he's like, "Fuck this! You're carrying these things."
Oh, so you forgot I existed, did you? Did you forget? You forgot all about me, didn't you? And I thought my yellow pants would be unforgettable. What about my purple scarf? You forgot all about that too, didn't you?
He's talking about all the stuff he misses. You remember lingerie? I miss lingerie. I'm like, what the fuck?
Does he miss wearing it though, or watching?
No, I think that's what he meant. Yeah.
So they go back to the scene where the gyrocopter is, and this is pretty cool though because the snakes did their job and they actually killed some passersby, which is a pretty fucked up trap. So they find some stuff. Max is going through their belongings. There's like a big. I guess they're D&D players because there's like a 14-sided dice or something there.
But
the dog just keeps chewing on the guy.
Max chucks the dice to the side because he doesn't take.
Yes.
Ironically, the guy that's lying dead on the ground there was a renowned scientist who'd found the answer to all the world's problems, and he was coming out there to rescue them all. Food and water.
You know, 70s, I really thought you were going somewhere with that. It's very clear to find out it was a joke.
He's like an epic DD player, and
I have no
he
special insight. I just make
I thought it was some special trivia, like this guy just wanted to be on set.
that gets the answer to everything right there, right? And they killed him.
And so the snake is dead though, and Gyrocap and the dog and the Gyrocaptor are fighting for the snake, and he's like, "I trained it. I'm gonna eat it."
Wow.
Hey, don't knock snake meat. That's pretty good.
And
chicken.
Melvin Deagley,
Sorry.
I agree with you 100%. There's no fucking way
always
those
wanted
cans are full.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, those things were. You could hear him clanging.
So this is Max finds a couple shotgun shells finally, and he loads. He puts one of them just crumbles, and the other one he puts in, and he's like, "Empty,
Sucker.
empty this whole time." Well, that's not right. That's not right at all.
Psych.
Loser.
And he's like, well, "How do I know that one's gonna work?" And Mac's like, "Well, we could try it."
Yeah.
And then
You know,
then
that's
they're
something
walking
my
towards-
brother always comments about in these action movies. He particularly loves tearing Die Hard to pieces. He's like, this guy would have had a friggin' sugar problem. He would have collapsed like 18 times during the course of that film just from the adrenaline rushes. You know, but hey, it's the magic of movie making, baby.
Yep.
That's Australia there, Replicant. It's
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
the real
Aaron,
world.
Fun fact: when they tried to go back to do the Fury Road stuff, it was so green they couldn't even do it. So they had to go to Africa, Namibia, to shoot in the Great Deserts because this was now so green.
Damn global
Because-
warming.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
really.
Climate change. It's climate change.
Chimps.
Yeah.
So as they're walking back towards the helicopter, he's like, "The thing you got to understand about this is it's all aerodynamics." And it's just a funny conversation as they're getting in, and then they're off they go. Max, Dog, and Gyro Captain to find the truck. And we show up, yay, truck. And the Gyro Captain's like, he's like, "You can't just leave me." And Max throws him the keys. He's like, "Yeah, go wherever you want to." So he finds their deal as fulfilled at this point.
Yeah, he's done with them.
Mm-hmm.
Gets his keys, and that's what he's saying. But the thing is, he gets up, and what does he do? He follows them anyway because he thinks he considers them partners, which is fine. I mean, you find someone who doesn't actually kill you in the outback. I guess at this point, you're friends.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like I
Oh.
said, like Max sees things as tactical, and he sees things. His mirror opposite sees things as like relationship. So he's always looking for
Yes.
relationships to
The
build.
Yeah, you know-
friend. Yeah.
Yeah,
Max,
Max is.
I love you so much. You're pointing out the juxtaposition of these characters is just fucking so good.
Here's the grief-stricken sibling.
Yeah,
I think he may have a new brother at this point, but I'm not sure.
yeah. That
He's
Bill
looking a lot
Paxton
like him.
wannabe right there.
Yeah.
Bill Paxton.
Hey, Shelby.
Shelby has been putting out some great lists of albums and songs on her
Oh,
site.
yeah.
Go check her out. Really good stuff. Just I forget what it was, but it was stuff that I hadn't heard of, but I loved it. So I was like, I got to go investigate this now. And now I've forgotten because I'm also going to have to go back and watch it again because I'm old.
She knows about Kolchak, the Night Strangler, and Stalker. That's really cool.
Yep.
Kolchak
And Shelby's
Night Stalker was awesome.
doing some rock and panel appearances as well. I mean, I've seen her on a bunch of panels. She's
Somehow she
killing it.
keeps avoiding me only because I have no idea how to contact her. So Shelby, please hit me up on something so you can be on these panels. Besides, I'd love to have you on. So anyway, so we got a semi-distraught Don, possibly his new brother, and they hear the rig coming. So because the rig isn't fucking quiet, and the gyro captain is coming. So you have two big vehicles on their way. I actually forget how.
Look at that.
Oh, look at that ass.
It's lovely. It's too bad it's blurred out. I'm
Nice.
a little disappointed, frankly.
Talk about humongous.
This guy's like, whoa, that's a nice ass.
Yeah, they climb out. He's like, yeah, look at man, that's just brilliant. Has he been working?
It's a nice
with
chap.
He's impressed.
Yeah.
Got some Outback
like
pride right there.
You don't see that every day.
Talk about down under.
You actually get a.
This channel got gay real quick, didn't it?
You know, it was going
Yeah, it
so
always
well,
does.
and then
His
we hit
eyes.
this point. So what I like here, the Humungus's eyes also look fucked up. He's just a bizarre looking dude. He does look like Jason from fucking the Friday the 13th movies here. And so he's now aware that this action's going on as the rig is coming. And you see is 44.
Yeah, here it is.
And he's got, I think, 5 or 6 bullets left. He has very few bullets.
Is that a magnum?
I believe it is. If I'm, am I wrong?
Yeah, that's a classic Dirty Harry piece right there.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Also, if you notice, it has that picture, so that looks like a World War I.
Yeah.
Family, and then next to it is that a Totenkopf? That looks like some kind of German
SS.
SS.
Yeah, that looks like the SS, the death set.
That's Persian. That was their thing before the SS got it. That was a Persian.
That's true. Yeah, there was a band of people in the military, and they were. What was it? It was supposed to be a symbol that they had no fear of death, right? That was supposed to be the clan motto.
It's a cavalry unit. That had that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
And there's like a little Australia pin there, the white thing.
Yeah, that looks like Australia, and then the other one might be a regimental pin or something.
Yeah.
It's
like a total, like a commemorative, like military box set thing for
Yeah, for all we know, this is not something that was stolen. It may have literally have been a family heirloom to this guy.
Exactly.
If I always got the feeling too that it was his personal.
Yeah, the picture being there indicates to me that we're supposed to think that's his parents,
or grandparents, or whatever they were.
And it gives some strange personal connection to Humungus, which is a little bit weird. But you only see it in a flash. I mean, you don't see this for more than a second in the movie.
What I love about it is how many bullets he's used previous to this moment.
Yes.
Yeah. What has he done with the who's he shot with those bullets?
Yeah.
Or what?
That's probably how he's become the
Humungus.
Humungus.
Well, because he's a man of peace, he has so many bullets left.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
I only used 65 of my 70 bullets. I let them walk away. If they just walked away. So
I wouldn't have to kill them.
Lord Humungus is taking out and aiming at the truck, and he's actually quite a good shot. Those arms help make him steady because they're giant.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Shane didn't
use
the scope.
Look at that thing.
And Max goes to use the shotgun shell that he found, and it just shits the bed on him. It's
like the one of two comedic moments in this movie.
Yeah, and you're like, oh,
yeah.
It's like you ate Taco Bell and it just lets loose. It's not good.
Oh.
And so Lord Humungus shoots.
He drops the
shoots
snake
the
on some fucker.
Yeah.
So Lord Humungus shoots the radiator of the truck, so it starts going, and Papagayo's like, oh fuck, here he comes. So they get ready to open the gates up, and the gyro captain, because Max is getting swarmed by these guys, and one of them's got the fucking arrow shooting. It's like a quad arrow shooter, and he's blowing up tires
so
on
cool.
the truck.
Yeah.
And he drops the dead snake on the guy, and the guy's like, "Whoa!" And that's it for them.
Yeah, I love that the weapons get out of his control and it kills the pilot, the driver of the car. It's
of the other car.
That kind of realism. Weapons are dangerous, even if they're in your own hands. It's
he tilts it down like this, takes out the whole front of the car because
So they're now some of Humungus's guys are in the compound, and he's telling them the gate. They got to open the gate back up so that they can get in. Here you have the folks who didn't fare so well, who are still on the front of his truck, who probably smelled delightful at this point. So Don's in the compound. And
that is such an iconic look.
It is.
Crouched, the mohawk, the boa, and
this is oddly the same scene that Jacob Ironside used for his meme. He looks less apey, and that must just be me. So, but this is one of the iconic shots from the film, and he does this crazy fucking jump thing, and just
did like a backflip twist or some shit.
Yeah, over this dude who looks like beta male of the future, not good, and then gives him a headbutt. And gives him a headbutt. The headbutt actually kills him.
Mm-hmm.
And Max is now manning one of the flamethrowers. He's like, "You can run. You can run." All right, whatever. And he takes one of their lamps and exits the compound. And that's kind of a neat scene because it doesn't come back up. It just breaks off and stays down. Because you expect it to come back up and it doesn't. That always bothers me. It bugs my OCD a little bit. I needed that completion and I never got it. So now it's funny how everybody's congratulating the gyro captain like he really did some great stuff. He just lands and everybody's like, "Hey, you did a good job there. Great job, mate."
Yep. That chick is like my future husband.
Oh, God.
Hello, darling.
Hey, baby. You want to do some aerobics tonight?
Check out his teeth.
Yeah. I know how to train a snake.
And he's telling the
How's
kid
a snake?
not to touch
How's a snake?
Yeah. You can train mine.
What's he tell him? It's very delicate or something?
Yeah.
It's very precise machinery. Don't touch. Don't touch.
Shoo. Shoo.
Yeah. This kid's like, "This is a great boomerang."
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I can kill how many people with this?
Mm-hmm.
Well, one at a time, really.
Yeah, that's true.
But someone has to throw it back.
Exactly.
He keeps
Well, they'll
shooting
stand
the
there
kid
and
off,
watch.
too.
So at least one guy will die. You know.
And the Patton is like, "Oh, you can carry two," and he's like, "Theoretically." And so Papa Gal took an arrow to the nether region.
He was reaching for his crotch.
Yeah, not good. Depending on how he was hanging, he may have had it may have ended poorly here.
He's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "I'm good. I'm good. I'm okay. Go ahead."
My leg, not my crotch.
Yeah, he's got a fucking arrow in his thigh. And he's like, "I'm good.
Help!"
Yeah. It'll be
I'm good. Don't worry.
Just
Don't worry
like
about me. I'll be all right." Yeah.
And so they got the truck in, and he's like, how long to get it ready? How long to get it ready?
Oh, this is
And
funny.
he's lifting all this shit up, and he got bad. This guy is funny.
Yeah.
Because they're listing all this shit off that's wrong with the truck. And then Papa Guy is like, what does that mean? And the guy's like,
"What does that
24 hours?
mean?" Yeah.
You've got 12. Okay.
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 And she's like, "I was wrong about you." The like
Shut up.
man from outside.
That's
She's
Max's
like,
response. "I don't care."
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah,
I
be gone.
I don't need your shit right now, lady.
The gyro
gotta-
captain's back there. Right, shit.
My teeth are pretty good, so I'm
Yeah.
not the one you want.
Yeah, Max is on his Sigma grind set.
Yeah, dude.
But they're all like, dude, thanks. Yeah, with you driving that rig, we're definitely gonna make it. And he's like, "Oh, fuck off." I just want my gas and I want to leave.
Yeah, the contract. Our contract was, I get all the gas. Come on, I did my shit. Come on, let's go.
Yep.
Let's go.
I like that lady's hat in the background there. That was nice.
Yeah.
It's a good
This
look.
woman appears to be startled.
Yeah.
And what?
That's a great shot.
Yeah, that is a good
What,
shot.
I forget exactly what's happening here.
What's
The
happening
deal was he's
here
got his
is
car back, right?
this is the most
Is this when
amazing
they're-
canine performance ever to reach the screen. Look how well
That is an
trained this
excellent canine
dog
performance.
is.
He's not even
Yeah.
well trained. I read that they found him at a pound.
Really?
They found
Really?
a frog at a pound.
Oh,
Yeah.
my-
No
Natural talent.
Yeah, that's just all natural doggo talent.
Nice.
But him and Max have the same.
AJ,
look. It's
AJ's proud.
very
AJ's proud. AJ's got tears in his eyes right now.
Yeah, man.
Man, if he came from a pound, they definitely trained that dog.
Yeah, no, they saved him from being euthanized.
Mm.
Wow.
For sure.
I believe
Awesome.
it. They discovered a lot of them are great in the pound.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
They trained that dog though because this dog was in a few different situations, and for a dog to be calm during all of that, yeah, it's a good dog. Good dog.
Well, someone in
Yeah.
the chat mentioned that they gave, because all the engines roaring and stuff like that, they gave the
Earplugs,
dog
right?
special earplugs. Yeah.
Mm.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Someone mentioned it in the chat. I can't remember who.
Interesting.
I'm looking.
Yeah, Max
It's-
is still
it
in
was
the
maybe an
mindset
hour
of,
ago.
Yeah.
So is this when Lord Humungus is going crazy? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's why everybody has that look. So they've actually stretched out 2 of the victims.
That's what causes her.
Oh, they're
burning
them
they're
up.
crucifying them essentially.
Burning
Yeah,
them.
And Lord Humungus is going on this rant, and you can't hear what he's saying, but you know it's not good.
Max
You're
is
forcing my hand. I wanted to let you go.
Yeah,
exactly.
Max
I
is
just
having
took by her side, by the way.
Max watching
just
these
had to
guys get
walk
stretched
away.
out, and he's eating dinner with his dog.
He's eating dog food. He's like, whatever.
Wow. That looks horrible.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not me.
Yeah, better than to me.
So now we're back at the compound. There's a lot of sparks flying as they're trying to get all the vehicles ready to go. It's a really good sparky scene.
Mm-hmm.
And so the gyro captain is convinced Hair Girl to go off with him.
That
And she's like,
hairstyle's really handy. You can just grab that when you're standing behind. No, anyway.
Whoa.
Yep.
oh God.
She's the
And
one.
That's a 70s
she's
rock
having
band right
reluctance.
Sorry, just forget it.
It doesn't feel right to sneak off, he says.
But these people are my family, and you have some very fucked up teeth.
But I
And
have
he's
a
like,
gyrocopter.
all right. And so,
Let me give you a
so-
spin.
God damn it. Papagayo and Patton are like, dude, you can't leave. And Max is like,
Mick and Keith here. Mick and Keith are talking
Yeah.
I got a new album coming out, you know.
and he's
Yeah, they're
like, I'm
trying
not
to-
interested in your album.
I guess Mel Gibson's playing Ronnie Wood. Like, come on, dude. Join the band.
Want to join a band?
Mhm.
So Max is like, no, our contract is over. I'm at my end of the deal. And he's like, we'll make a new contract. Then Papagayo does some stupid shit here.
Mhm.
And instead of actually trying to appeal to him and a higher way, he basically starts name calling. You're a
Mhm.
maggot, Max. You're not going to survive out there. You're nothing but a leech. Blah, blah,
Okay.
blah.
Yeah.
And then he grabs onto him. He's being kind of a dick. And Max like, fuck off, and punches him. Oh, it's because he's like, because he's trying to get out. You know, what'd you lose out there? Oh, you lost family. You're not the only one. You think you're
Yeah.
special? And whap. Shut the fuck up, dude.
Mhm.
And because he's got, you know, he had an arrow in his junk, he's like, I'm just gonna fall over. Ouch.
Yeah, he was getting
he
real
knows.
physical.
You know, they're going to
Well,
get Max to be
handsy.
emotional to manipulate him.
Well, it didn't work because Max doesn't have emotion right now. He's just cold. He's cold and dead and wants to get the fuck out of there.
Mhm.
Like I said,
So-
take it to the gyrocopter, dude. Like your emotional plea is not reaching me.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
he comes back and Monkey Boy's in the car because he loves him now. Monkey
I
Boy
want
loved him.
music.
Monkey Boy, he got the gift of music from Max, and now Monkey Boy loves him.
Yep.
Mhm.
And
Well,
Max is like,
you know, Monkey Boy sees him as a real hero because he's an isolationist, and that's what the kid is too. The kid's like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm going to grow up
That's
to
true.
be this guy. He can do it all on his own. He don't need nobody.
Mhm.
Max is like what, one step up from being feral himself.
Yep.
That
Yes.
kid's
Exactly.
the future ruler of Earth right there.
Yeah.
right there.
Yep.
Yep,
And that's the
absolutely.
impression we get in the
On
climax.
gyro pilots.
That's
Yeah.
what we get.
Pass.
Yeah.
Those teeth are.
You know,
dead
he's
ends
got a
right
good
there.
skill set, but I'm gonna have to pass on the teeth alone. And I know, I'm being toothist,
Man, you're
but
Toothist.
Yeah, I think
Dentist.
Latino
No,
slander
wait a minute.
take issue with that.
Anti-dentite.
yeah, you're being an anti-dentite.
and I know I'm a bad person for that. I know, but whatever. So you're right. That's actually a really good point, Stephen. The kid sees Max as a kindred spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What, you know, something he wants to, you know, maybe that's what I evolve into after I shed my tail.
Yeah,
he's
like,
like-
you know,
he's like-
this guy
he's
can
like-
speak. He's already a god.
He
to
can
the kid.
talk.
Yeah.
And so he's like, get out of the car, kid. And he because he you know, he just doesn't need the baggage at this point. So he grabs the little music maker, throws it, the kid chases it, and then Max picks up his little pack and he's like, go away, kid.
Yeah.
And the kid's disappointed. Look at that sadness.
Oh.
And I think somewhere because Max right now, I think there's probably a lot going on in his head.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's been away from people for a long time.
Right.
And he doesn't want to form bonds. And I think this kid causes a problem for him. I think it does strike a chord with him, whether he wants to admit it or not.
There's the added thing too of, look, kid, I'm going into death, right? I don't need to see you die, right? So it's no good coming with me. There's really no future. I've got no future. I don't want a future. There is no future.
Yeah. Plus, he lived through that with seeing his son die, right?
That's right.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So he doesn't want.
He doesn't want to
go
see
through
that again.
Yeah.
Just get out of here with your teeth.
Get out of here with your growling teeth and your music box.
Your damn teeth.
I give you music. Go away.
Go away.
I think almost the opposite. I think he's shooing the kid because he doesn't want to care about anyone, and he knows the kid is something that someone will care about.
Yeah.
He
Well,
wants to
that's
get
kind of where I was going with it.
Yes.
too,
that
Matt.
the shell.
Yeah.
And the kid, he knows the kid will get in, so he's like, "Go away. Just, I'm not dealing with that."
Yeah,
I'm
you're
dealing
far
with
too
the
close,
modern
man.
woman.
Yep.
And so, actually, ZAXX, where did you put it? You put it right here. So, for Shelby out there, so please subscribe to her channel. Check out her cool stuff. So, Gyro Captain and Aerobics Girl are trying to talk Max into staying. He's like, dude, they've got a great deal here. And Max is like, yeah, good luck. Basically, you're all going to die. Bye.
Toodles.
And he fucking buggers out.
They're all
And-
bourgeoisie oppressors of the masses. Fuck off.
Damn.
Yeah, you have me
Yeah.
convinced, dude. You totally have me convinced on this.
Actually, you know,
Like-
hey, Rock fan, you know what it reminds me of is the workers in the field at the beginning
That-
of
that's right.
Holy Grail.
There's
Yeah.
some lovely filth down here, Dennis.
Well, I don't remember electing him. Who voted for him?
Yeah. Who lives in yonder castle?
Help, I'm being
Uh,
repressed. I'm being repressed.
You saw him, didn't you? Didn't you see him? You saw, didn't you?
Yeah.
Just some moist and bent lobs of scimitar. He doesn't. I can just go on all day. Just don't.
How do you know he's not?
no filmation from
It
government?
doesn't stink. It smells of shit.
There's some lovely filth over here, Dennis.
Lovely filth down here, Dennis.
This image right here.
Yeah, what woman? Old woman. What do you mean, woman? I'm not old.
I'm
I'm
bad.
only 42.
I'm 37. I'm not old.
Oh man, that
we could
sequence
just-
alone is worth the whole movie.
It's just
It's excellent.
pure gold right there.
Oh,
Mhm.
so we have sad monkey boy at this point.
Aw. Poor monkey boy.
Look at that. He almost looks human.
Almost.
This image right here, like with the kid, reminds me of the bleak imagery of The Exorcist. The hopeless, bleak imagery of it. That just the shot right here is hopeless and bleak.
Yeah, this and the image of the priest in front of the house.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
yeah.
AJ, have you seen The Exorcist?
I think AJ's feeding his dogs again.
Did AJ leave again? He keeps wandering.
Lord Humungus offered AJ a chance to walk away, and AJ
This
took it.
actually,
And he took it.
this reminds me of the poster of Les Miserables.
Oh yeah, with the little
hair
girl and the wind in the hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Copa
that.
be highbrow.
I can hear y'all. I keep stepping away to the kitchen.
Where is it?
Oh, no,
AJ's like, I can hear you, motherfucker. Stop it.
Stop calling my
AJ,
name.
Drink water.
Get a snack, goddammit. We're doing it
AJ, come
we're doing it on
back.
purpose. Every time he turns off the camera, it's like, do it, call him.
Right.
AJ, return to the kitchen. I will let you walk away. Just return to the kitchen.
away.
Leave the food at the table.
Well,
Leave the mic open and walk away, AJ. Go back to the kitchen.
Leave the mic
My-
open, walk away.
My
Have you
wife
seen
is in
the
the kitchen, not humongous. None of that.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So, AJ, have you seen The Exorcist?
I think so. Like back in the day.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
Like,
don't even
know
understand
or
that
you
response.
I think
that's
because-
one of those movies, you know if you've seen it.
don't. Yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of movies growing up, but they'd be like on, but I'm not really attached to anything, especially like horror movies. As well as like when I say these iconic movies that y'all speak of, they're all like in pop culture like references. So I know I've seen like tons of references to all this stuff, and it just kind of makes you like kind of confused. Like, did I actually watch that, or did I see somebody else like paying homage to
Exorcist,
that?
yeah, Exorcist is a highly referenced movie too, so you can
Yes.
be confused.
And the
I can see that.
I have the opposite problem. I'm so old, I've forgotten what I've seen.
You know, I've talked before about how the tropes that have traveled into the future have like so contaminated the past that I could easily see how somebody would just, did I watch a mashup? Am I remembering another film that was doing a tribute to it? It's like it's almost impossible to separate it all.
Well, it came up before with Mike Preston, who's actually a musical form before Mick Jagger, but someone said he's a Mick Jagger knockoff.
That was me. I'm sorry.
See, I'm so old. I actually dated the old priest's mom in high school, so that's how. So here we have Don.
He was there 3,000 years ago.
Here's the makeup. Is rocking that Adam Ant Vant thing.
It's really nice. Yeah, it is. You're right. That doesn't. That was a musician. For those of you who are maybe too young to know who the fuck we're talking about.
He did it first.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Why don't you do? You were there. You were with us 3,000 years ago.
I've heard references.
In the
there you go.
You looked pretty close to this, so you know.
So before this scene plays out, I want to talk about it for a second. So Max has got all this fuel. He's got his car loaded up. He's probably got some more dog food, maybe a chicken or two. We don't know. And the dog, the dog is with him. And he leaves. For all Max's planning and strategizing before this, he shits the bed here pretty hard.
Oh, yeah.
And it bothers me. It's like, bro, you knew these fucking guys were out here waiting for something to exit the compound. That's not surprising. What were you thinking?
Right.
Well, and Lord Humungus is like,
Don,
that's the one who killed your brother.
I agree with you that Max, like, let's say this wasn't my second point. That Max should not have been surprised at all in the scene. You know what I mean? Like, he was surprised that they got the jump on him, so to speak. Right. Now, what we know is the kid's the one telling the tale. You know that Max that some adults said, "Oh, they got Max and we went to rescue him." That's all the kid knows about the story. So he's just making this up on the fly when he's telling it 60 years later.
Well, my thought is maybe Max has gotten an idea of what Humungus's vehicles are, and he's like, "I got an interceptor with a V8.
I can outrun them.
I can outrun them."
Yeah,
but he has no idea that they have nitrous tanks.
Right,
because that's what they hit him with at the end. Because he is outrunning them until they hit the nitrous, until they hit that NOS.
So I mean, to get that's all. I mean, again, within the context of the story, they don't have to explain it. It just seems
that's
a little,
true.
You know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Well, there's also, to help Roman out with all of this is that there is the reality that he did let his guard down. I mean, in the compound, just before he left, the armor was getting kinked, right? It was getting holes in it,
Yeah, that's true.
People were trying to get in. And I could tell you for a fact, if you lose your groove doing something, like he's been doing this Mad Max thing on the road for a while now. And if he lets that guard down for a second, all of that instinct could just vanish for a few
Just not
seconds.
thinking clearly, yeah.
Right, exactly. Or stop thinking clearly. Right.
True.
No, I can see that kind of, except, man, you're in a kind of situation where that shit just can't happen. So now, Don's pissed off because he's after the guy who killed his brother. You got maybe used to be cop and Toady all on the road now.
And that's the end of the night
and
with
stinking corpses.
Boyfriend gone, there's no one else to produce it.
That's a good point.
And it just goes really poorly. And Max is like, again, Copa, this scene from Max leaving the compound to him shitting the bed is like a minute. It's not very long.
It's fast, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he flips over. His shit is fucked.
Oh, yeah. And it's reminiscent of how Fury Road begins, right?
Yeah.
So I was confused when this happened because from again, that formula, I was like, this dude's not following the formula. This did seem kind of retarded that he just went out there. So that did kind of throw me off for a minute, but I think it does kind of address it when he goes back, and then dudes like kind of rub it in his face, like, "Oh, why you come back? Oh, you had to change your heart? Like what really happened?" And then Max is like, nah, man, you know I'm here because I have to be. Like, they fucked me up out there. I had no chance.
Right.
The only thing I can think of is he thought he had a lot of stock in his vehicle versus theirs.
Vehicle.
Yeah, that he had that V8, and there's no way a Doom buggy was going to catch to his V8. Not noticing that they had
nitrous and yeah.
Hey,
whatever was necessary to catch it, but based on the kid telling a fable that Max came back for some reason, so the kid just threw it in there for whatever,
Right.
Yeah, and that can completely be it too. Is the kid's an unreliable narrator?
Right. And
I want to left and somehow came back. And
I definitely want to get into that with you, Copa, in closing statements, because there's a lot of meat on that bone for this story about the unreliable narrator and how this is a recovered myth of a world that is using found objects to identify themselves, right? So this is a really fascinating, but this is the definition of cinematic apocalyptic setting, right? The general with his badges on his brown dress jacket, maybe he's a real general, who knows, right? It's all costume at this point.
But there's another, your point is great, but the unreliable narrator, if it's just the kid telling this story 50 years from now, he didn't see half of this happening.
He made it up.
So he's just he's filling in the blanks. Yeah. So that's great points. Yeah.
And just one more address to this too is in script form, this falls right into that Valley of the Dead. Fate is intervened. The hero is on his last legs, right? Just before the climax, just before the triumph. That's where this scene is. That's the tempo of screenwriting. Is right here. Everything is lost. Max is on his last legs. He might not make it out of this, kids, right? Prepare yourself.
This scene was tough. After the car flips over, Max is clearly not in good shape.
AJ's about to go to the kitchen again.
AJ's like, man, the hell with this scene.
Fuck this scene.
Oh, man.
Just walk away. And that reminds me, I want to say something to AJ. You remember the sequence in Logan where he's trying to escape and it's all that Western scenery, right? He's got Xavier in the car. The kid hops on board. They bust past towards the train tracks. They're making a gun for it, right? And there's these trucks that are like almost like apocalyptic vehicles, the way they're attacking him and stuff. It all came from this. That's actually paying tribute to this movie.
So you got Don up here. He's like, get the fuel. And Max is hanging out behind a rock. He's like, I am so fucked up. And the cop, so you got Toady goes down to the vehicle, and cop looking guy is kind of trolling around, and so Toady's like banging on the tank saying, oh yeah, they're full. Yay, Toady.
Oh yeah.
Who only has 5 fingers now. And I did. Do you know what? I'm sorry. I think I did it. It may have been not intentional. I didn't include the dog thing though. So cop-looking guy shoots the dog, and he's about to shoot Max. And Toady fucks with the fuel system, and it blows up.
Boom.
Now, this stunt was a stunt that went wrong. This is something that a lot of us in Hollywood we talk about, because he was just supposed to fly over the pole, but his leg actually hit the pole. And it's not here, but if you go back a few frames, you can see he broke his leg underneath his knee. Like it was something that went horribly wrong. He barely survived this. So that flip is for real, and they did not plan it out.
Yeah, you know,
I'm glad they kept it in the movie, because it would have sucked if he did all that shit.
Copa, you know, that reminds me too. Somebody should do a retrospective on Burt Reynolds' stuntman movie. I forget. God, the name just escaped my head.
Hooper.
Hooper.
Yeah. I saw that in the cinema when it came out.
Me too, man. Me too.
Yeah,
but that film is filled with that new versus old. This guy doesn't mind breaking his leg. This guy's going to figure out how to tactically get away from it. Right? It's like all of that stuff about stunt work in Hollywood.
What was funny was the director said, "No, we didn't get that. Go back and do it again."
Right.
Right, really.
You got another
Put a
leg,
cast
don't
on
you?
it.
Damn it.
You got another leg.
Spray paint that cast black, would you?
Yeah, dude.
Well, when I was a teenager watching this movie, all the people around me that watch it too said that like some of those stuntmen died like doing stuff. I don't know if that's real or not.
I haven't heard that. I
don't
just
know
know,
about this
I just know
movie.
this one went wrong.
But was it Close Encounters? A stuntman died or a cameraman? There's been a few movies where people died.
On movies and
No.
stuff like that.
Mhm.
Every so often you hear a news story about it.
It does.
I think Jacob's got the answer.
So you're talking about is at the end.
Yeah.
You know, Shelby makes the point that I've heard this before too. The director saw a really bad, horrific car accident, and then he worked it into the movie.
Huh.
Was
And
that
I had
this
heard that
one?
before too.
Or was
I don't know
that-
if it was this
Myths
one or
of
maybe.
Hollywood. Things that we're not quite sure about.
Right. Well, I could see that in Mad Max, where like one of those crashes was actually something
yeah, so
worked
I could
into
see
the
that
film.
because
I could totally see that.
Well,
Yeah.
that Mad Max, the filming on it was so fucked up. You could blend that in pretty easy.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. It was all street.
Whereas
cameras.
the filming was a lot more, actual professional filmmaking.
Mhm.
I love the scene of the burning car though because it looks, well, it's a burning car. It's not CGI. It's not a model. It's a burning.
How can we drive when our cars are burning?
And this car was such a character. You know, this was his.
Oh, I know. I was sad when
You
the
know.
car died.
Yeah.
It was like, oh no, not the car.
Hey, you know,
God.
that just says right to it too, that this is Max's last family member, and then the dog gets shot.
Yeah, he's got nothing left. Yeah.
He's got nothing left now, and
Yep.
it's like he's not even a
Literally.
person anymore.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Which, you
And,
know what? It's kind of funny if you go back to the unreliable narrator part, the car shows up again in Fury Road.
Right.
Yeah.
So is that a sequel
So
or did that
God
happen
only
before
knows what
this?
happened really to the car.
Right.
The kid. So this actually kind of proves my point. What George Miller is saying is the kid's filling in the blanks here.
Mm-hmm.
But Max did show up back at the compound, beat up, and the dog was gone.
Well, don't you
And
remember?
no car.
No, not to debate what he liked third one or not, but in the third film, they literally have a legend of Max that they tell in the movie itself.
Right.
Remember the scene, the paintings on the wall?
Paintings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
That's
right.
right.
Yeah. So by that point, he had become
Those
such a
kids.
legend. They were telling him stories about him already.
Right.
Yeah, you know, and I agree with you completely, Matt. That's some of my favorite stuff about the third movie. As poorly executed as it was, and poorly acted,
And it was.
it was just this idea of you know, what a lost world would look like. What would a world in decay actually do? You know, the idea that they put a frame around the actor, right, like it was a TV show. It's fantastic stuff. It really is. It just, damn it, man, it's just too clean looking, man. It shouldn't have been that shiny. It should have been more rough. There was something wrong. It just poorly executed, but it was a
the other
great
direct-
idea on paper.
It was the other director. I'm telling you, it's the
No,
They're
Copa, I
probably
agree
no
100%
doubt.
with you because
Yeah.
I like the first half of the movie.
First half is really
Even though,
good.
like
yeah.
I said, the
Yeah.
Tina Turner part, like I said, she is a distraction more
That's
than
fine. She's
more
just
than
a name to bring in, more
Yeah,
of an audience.
I do wish they just put other
they wrote
actors
the
in
role
there
for Tina
so
Turner.
that it would so you're just looking at Auntie, you're not looking at Tina Turner.
And this
That's
is the
what I would've
problem with
up
stunt
there.
casting, and it's also the problem with celebrity casting nowadays. It's like it's no longer a story.
That role.
It's this person as
That
opposed
role-
to
They
Willy
made
Wonka and the
every time.
Chocolate Factory.
Would have been better if Whitney Houston was casted instead. Would that make you feel better?
Oh, for crying out
As long as she stays out of bathtubs.
I will always love you.
Me too, man. Right back at you.
Just walk away. Walk away right now.
Yeah.
Leave the Tina Turner, leave the Whitney Houston, just walk away.
Go away.
So Don's pissed off now, and he's like, the fucking car blew up. He's like, it's done, it's over, and so they leave.
Where'd they get
And
the
Max
football
is
pads
like-
in Australia, by the way? That's what I want.
That's a good point because they don't wear them in rugby, and they don't have a
Right.
football team.
Right.
What about
Um,
hockey?
No,
I don't
they
think
don't have
that-
any hockey.
In the middle of the desert?
Okay, guys.
It's one of those expansion teams, you know.
We know it's
Yeah.
Australia
Is that
because
the
they filmed it in
XFL? Is that
Australia.
when that thing was? Maybe that's when that was popular.
That's
They
yeah,
found 2 whole buses of hockey teams in transit, all dead. That's where all the costumes came from.
Oh, okay.
These guys are playing a
All
North
right.
team. These guys are playing a South team. That's why there's 2 different colors. Done.
There you
Done
go.
deal right there.
Yep.
I
I
believe
mean,
it.
look, we know it's in Australia because they filmed it there and have Australian accents, but it technically doesn't have to be in Australia.
That's true too.
I mean,
They never actually say where it is. It's true.
I mean, they dried up the oceans. They did it so badly. If you
Yeah.
go by the 4th film, they could have walked across the ocean bottom to Canada for all we know.
That's
Yeah.
right. I mean, the Russian
70s,
captain
this is actually
in-
Vancouver.
Yeah.
You can all
It is.
infrared out
their
there.
accents.
Well, it's on a social level. It is Vancouver. Yes, it's a bit of a wasteland full of degenerates. Yeah.
Fucking Vancouver. I've been there.
All right,
So,
I got a
yeah,
question
AJ.
on the narrator. So, who narrated the first movie?
I think that's Max.
That's just
Maybe.
Max himself.
I
Yeah.
think it's
Yeah,
Max,
no one's
yeah.
telling
Yeah,
a. Don't
yeah.
think anybody's telling a story in that one. It's
Yeah.
point of view or. Yeah.
It's like
The
his
third
point of
one
view.
is the kids.
The
that
first
survived.
The
film
third
was
one's
kind of a
kids.
prototype. Like it's really more of a college type director experiment type
Oh,
thing.
okay.
It's very low budget. And then
And this
the-
one is the feral kid who,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you can almost parallel this with the Evil Dead series.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
There's
you're
a
right.
pre-film
Well-
and then a resurrection pre-film, a resurrection sequel.
Yes and no, Stephen. While this does replace the necessity for the first film, Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 are essentially the same movie. It's just Evil Dead
Yes.
2 had a budget.
I agree,
Oh.
but I'm just saying
Yeah.
that one is similar because one was done on a much lower budget
Oh,
and
fuck yeah.
really far off the deep end, and then the second one was because of the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
no, you're 100% right on that.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I agree with you.
Yep.
The second one is a copy of the first in Evil Dead. So
So let me ask you guys this. All right, seeing this the first movie come out, what were your thoughts on the second one? Like seeing that a second movie was coming out.
Oh,
were
we
you
didn't
trying
know
to
the
see?
first one happened, dude.
Well,
Oh,
some of
okay.
it-
In the States, the Mad Max really didn't exist until
Yeah. I'd seen
after
it.
the Road Warrior came out, and then
Yeah.
people were like, "Oh, there's another fucking movie."
Yeah, it
And
was so
then we
popular.
watched it
Yeah.
almost
Right.
as a prequel.
It was
Yeah.
on TV. It was like you can watch.
It was on
Channel
TV
5.
in the UK. They
It was
showed on
backwards.
TV,
Yeah.
the first one.
My grandma
Yeah,
got
but
me into all this sort of stuff when I was like 2 and 3 years old. So,
But
All
yeah,
of
like
them
he,
or
all of them were on TV for me. I guess
Yeah.
I was too young for this to come out.
I was watching Italian horror films by the time I was 5.
yeah, me too.
In Italian.
But
Yeah.
for
I love
I
those
mean,
Suspiria and
'Cause I remember
Yeah.
watching
Oh, yeah.
this one
Yeah,
first,
Dario Argento.
and like
I
was
watched
going,
this one
films.
first, 'cause
then I
Canoli,
went
think you and I-
backwards, and then I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "Wow, what a difference in
Yeah.
movies! Like just
Because I
the
think you and I are
budget,
about the
spectacle."
same, or around the same age. Maybe
But I had
Yeah,
I
the
had
first-
seen
the
the
first
first,
Mad Max-
one before the second one. I did see
Yeah.
the first before
Did
the
you?
second.
My first
Oh,
one
see,
was
I did not.
my first one was Beyond Thunderdome on TV, and then I
Oh,
went
fuck,
my
I'm
way
sorry.
backwards.
And still, you
Well,
watched
dude,
it
I
in
mean, when
one-
you're
that might have killed
think
me.
about
you
it
know
this
what?
way, when you're a kid and you watch him fight in the Thunderdome and you see Master Blaster,
it was fun as a kid. Yeah.
oh, it's so much
Yeah.
fun as a
Because
kid.
that-
You
because
don't
me
even
and you
think
were-
about.
He just
Yeah.
spends too much time in that bloody oasis with those kids.
Oh yeah, it's
Fuck your
terrible.
kids, man! They
Yeah,
ruin
those kids
everything.
30 minutes too long. That it could have been 10
Oh,
minutes long.
And
Oh, good
AJ,
night,
just to
Jim.
give you a little context on how bizarre this time period in cinema and music was, Duran Duran did Bad Boys, and they were dressed up like Road Warrior characters.
That'd be Wild Boys from the
Wild
Yeah,
album,
Boys.
Wild Boys. That was it. That was a satellite premiere global. It was such
which
a
was
big
their
deal.
last
It's so
full
funny.
album as a band, and then they broke off into separate things after that. And then Duran
God,
Duran
I
carried
feel
on.
old.
But
Yeah, it's just
yeah,
like-
this
actually, all
whole
these-
apocalypse look was a really big thing, and it trickled into everything, everywhere, all at the
It
same
did.
time.
It
It was
did.
crazy.
That's why I was telling AJ to watch the third, and the fourth one just to gain his
Just
own
to get the full picture.
perspective.
No, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right. You're
I
right,
think
you're
it's
right.
it's a good idea for him.
So
But I
what's
still-
the
Go ahead, AJ, please.
what's because again I watched the first one and I'm just saying the leather jackets, the muscle cars, the motorbikes. So I'm like, was this like the Michael Jackson? Was it like Beat It type? Was it that time?
That's an interesting
That came out right after this.
The third one was right.
This is more like Judas Priest, hell bent for leather.
Late 70s punk metal type scene.
Okay.
80s,
There was
you know.
definitely a strong resurrection of the black
Motorhead
motorcycle
and stuff
jacket
like that.
coming
The
back.
third one was what, the
those
mid
white
to
outfits
late
came from.
80s?
Go watch Led
The
Zeppelin.
third one I
Queen
think
in
was
the 70s.
86.
86. Yeah, you're in there on that
No,
time.
Beyond Thunderdome was 85.
85.
Yeah, this is more Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, new metal look.
Yeah.
Breaking the law.
Well, also,
Hell bent for leather.
If you want to see music with the white outfits that people had, go watch Led Zeppelin and Queen in the 70s.
Oh, God.
Right.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
Also, another note on that too. Remember the characters at the beginning of Terminator? They were part of
They're
the
punks, dude.
human people on Earth looking at the Road Warrior world.
Yeah.
Right.
Those
It was
two-
part of
those
that
dudes were
punk rock
punk.
music being reinforced by cinema.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the 80s punk thing, the early 80s punk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
with
was
the
there
makeup
LA
and
3,000 years ago. Oh, you sent me. Okay. But they kept it. Wait, they kept it.
Kept it in the morning?
In the movie. In the movie.
Okay.
Dan,
I had
you
it wrong.
autocorrect.
I thought
Jacob,
it
I'm going to
was.
save that until we get to
it's
the
coming
end,
up.
because if I pull out of this thing, then I'm never going to find my way. But there had to be a better way to say that too. If I don't,
I was going to say,
with my course, I'm going to screw it up. God damn me! So the gyro captain is looking at the smoke plume in the distance and going, "Fuck off, Max! God damn it!"
Yep.
Because he knows exactly what's happened. It's not hard to put together. And I like what George Miller did with this scene. He made it all wonky vision. So
that's his perspective,
to show how out of whack Max is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the gyro's coming in and he's like, oh wow.
Yeah. See, I wish there was so much more of this kind of cinematic imagery in modern cinema. I think the camera needs to, because anime does this all the freaking time, where the camera literally goes inside the character's head, and it's not even the main character's head. It's some security guard witnessing some bit of magic, and it's so crazy that this is how he saw it, right? Blurs and twinkles and streaks of light and stuff like that. It's, the camera needs to go there in live action, and we're perfectly capable.
They've tried.
And the sound is all dragged out. She's like,
yeah, no, because he's actually like, hey, relax, partner.
Yeah.
Which is, so I felt that way many a Saturday night, so I know exactly where he's going.
They've tried that first person perspective in some stuff. The best example they ever did was in MASH when they had the mute soldier who the doctors kept talking to. I don't know if you guys remember the episode. He was a mute soldier, and Hawkeye was treating him. And the whole episode from his perspective as that mute soldier.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they did it with Tom Hanks in Save It Private Ryan with the ear ringing because of an explosion and that distortion of time and sound.
Then there was the first Doom film where they went first person at the end of that. And then there was Hardware Henry or whatever it was called, that action movie.
Hardcore Henry.
Yeah. But there's a lot of first person perspective in Silence of the Lambs as well.
Yes.
Yeah, but the only example I can think when they did the whole thing that way was the episode of MASH. It's the only one I can think of.
That's an interesting. I'll have to check that out. Do you remember what season it is?
I'll look it up.
I would guess that it's at least in season 3 and after.
And this here,
they were just starting to get experimental, and they were really famous at that point. They thought they could really pull off anything.
Well, I think Hawkeye was the chief of medicine by then, so it's got to be after
Trapper leaves.
After Frank leaves, because Frank was the main.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean,
we get Winston Churchill.
I fucking hated MASH as a television show, so I'm just throwing it out there.
Good movie.
Hated it. Used to be sad every time my parents would put it on.
You military guys, come on, get over it, Jesus.
No, I was a child then, dude. I didn't have military knowledge then. I just knew I didn't like the characters because they were a bunch of lib shits.
Anyway, military guy, born and raised.
So
I'm putting it in the private chat.
Max waking up in the camp, and he's like, "Fuck! I made so many bad decisions." And the kid comes in. He's got his leathers, and he's like, and Max is like, "Oh, it's my not son, the monkey boy. And monkey boy's like, I always loved you ever since you gave me music thing. And Papagayo's like, he's going over strategy with them about how they're going to get out now with
and Max misses a key point in the strategy.
He doesn't understand exactly the purpose of the tanker. And that's why Papagayo says he's going to take it. He is actually being very brave in doing that because he knows exactly what the hell is going to happen.
So, correct me. I didn't miss this either, right? The movie did not tell us because Max didn't know.
No,
he didn't.
Okay.
No, the movie doesn't tell you.
So
and that's good. If it had, it would have ruined Max's.
Well, the boy doesn't know until the end.
Right.
No,
So when
doesn't know either.
So when it happened, I was like, oh snap, the hero just failed the mission. This is not supposed to happen. And as it crashes, I was like, well, where'd the explosion go?
Yes.
and then you see it coming out
like,
of
oops. So he's leaning on the kid here, and he comes out and he's like, if it's all the same to you, I'll drive that tanker. and he literally has no idea what he's getting into. He's just like getting into it. And Papagayo was like, well, you had your chance. And
the framing here makes it look like Max has one dog foot and one big ass shoe.
Yeah, so I look at Max's decision here as he's finally starting to care for the kid. He knows the tanker is a suicide mission, doesn't care about his own life, and that's kind of why he wants to drive the tanker.
Well, because Papagayo, he's like, you had your chance, and Max is like, believe me, he's like, I don't have a choice, and this is where he becomes.
Yeah,
he realizes he's the reluctant hero.
This is where he has his awakening moment because he has to.
Plus, these guys are happy because now he knows that he's going to get him to drive that truck.
Yeah.
So he's going to be a dupe for him.
Right.
Yes.
Although I will give Papa Jalo there, or whatever his character name is, Papa Django, some credit. He does show up at the end to try to get Max and the kid.
He does.
So that's his redeeming quality. You know,
so it was another poorly executed plan, though.
Yeah.
My question is the people who are providing him cover on the back of the truck, do they know that they're being duped?
I assume that they do.
Because I mean,
remember, they've been an integral part of the compound now for.
I think they're aware of the plan.
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a sacrifice that they know they're going to make.
Okay, cool.
So he gets some good ammo finally. About fucking time.
But even if they weren't a sacrifice, they know the truck's going to be the primary target. Either way.
Olivia Newton-John is about to go do some yoga.
Yeah.
Let's get
she gives him a look as he's getting ready to launch off too, because they all know this may be the last run for everybody, because there's no guarantees any of this is actually going to succeed. And poor Don's all chained up because he fucked up. He pissed off Humungus.
He literally is in the doghouse. Right there.
This is why I'm asking. Like, if you've seen the first one and then you see a trailer for this, you're like, "What is this movie that's coming?"
What in Mad Max did I miss?
Do I remember this correctly? Did Conan come out before this?
Conan was.
No, I'm sorry. Conan came out in 82.
Okay, yeah. So that was a year after.
Yeah,
year later. 81.
Okay.
So
speak of the flaccid.
Ready to go ahead. Sorry, I'm sorry. I keep talking. I'm done.
Nope, we got some flaccid Phoenix in the house. How you doing?
Oh,
hey!
There he is. Came at the right part right here.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. Just so you know, Flaccid, we have cast you in the role of the of this guy. Every time we talk about this character, we call him Don. I just want you to know that it's important. It's important.
Cheers.
We lost Gator earlier on.
Mm-hmm. Gator's already dead. Gator died earlier in the film.
Yes.
So Humungus knows some shit's about to go down, and so they're all getting ready to mobilize here. Max is in the truck, getting ready to go out the gate. Monkey Boy hopped on the truck. The aerobic girl tried to get him off, and he's like, and just stayed on the truck.
Mm-hmm.
And man, this truck is a powerhouse, though. In their 12 hours, they did an awful lot of work. I go ahead.
Scoop, the spikes, the scoop. They tried to armor this thing up because they knew what was going to happen.
Oh yeah,
they had no illusions. What was going to happen to them.
I think they'd probably been getting the bits together, knowing that they were going to be getting a rig of some kind, so that they could just outfit the rig when they got it. So I mean,
yeah, they just needed a truck
in the spark scene. So Max bursts out. Humungus wastes some bullets here, shoots into that big old plow, and it just makes some little dents in it. And it's like, oh, I've wasted my ammunition.
There they go.
Yeah, pretty cool shot. Still, it would have been a good shot, but it didn't. It did not go through.
No, I think he was aiming for Max.
If he was aiming for Max, he should have aimed higher.
That's what I don't think he was a good shot.
Yeah, exactly. He's trying to go for the engine block and not realizing that.
That's what I thought he was doing too. And this truck just plows through the fucking the bad guy stuff, though. It's such a fun scene to watch.
Yeah,
because he goes through people and vehicles and more people.
You have to remember too, like, this is 81. No one's seen shit like this before in their lives.
Yeah, way ahead of its time. Yeah.
This is when the shit sets off big time. And it's such an incredible ride from now on.
Yeah. Well,
Rip Gator, that's right.
We were all really sad about it, dude, when it happened.
It was so good.
Rest in position.
AJ,
oh no! Horrible imagery there.
I'm uncomfortable now.
That is great.
Plows through the back. Wait, plows through the bad guys like a mother driving through Target for their after Christmas.
Yeah,
that is
or the Blues
Brothers get those deals.
Same energy,
Same energy. So Humungus starts taking. He took a shot at the gyro captain. He's like, "Whoa, fuck this!" But he still keeps going.
Can we just talk about Humungus and where his fucking gym is located in this desert?
I know, right? What is he doing? How's he?
Where is he getting these anabolic steroids at?
Some kind of supplements. He's got something going on.
He's got that bean juice.
Does he work out all night long?
Bro, that's just push-ups and sit-ups.
Yeah.
Isometric exercises.
How is he exercising that vein in his skull? That's what I want to know.
Right?
And man is out there pounding that dirt.
Oh God. So
tell us to walk away.
Walk away. So the truck's out. Bad guys are in pursuit almost exclusively of the tanker.
Mm-hmm.
It's some of the bad guys going to the compound. They're like, "Yay! They've abandoned the compound. We've got this place all to ourselves. We can set up some kind of Starbucks, some boutiques. Right. It'll be lovely. Mm-hmm. Yay! Are you guys so fucking short-sighted?" And then it all explodes.
That was a great scene. Yeah.
Oh, it was because
that's a real explosion.
That's what I mean.
It looks like they actually blew that motherfucker up.
They blew that up.
No CGI there.
No,
you see the dust. You see the dust. The dust got kicked, sucked in too, because of all the heat.
Yep. Like a mushroom cloud.
Isn't this a tactical error, though? I mean, if they're not blowing it up, you're giving the guys, giving Humungus's team what they want, drawing them off into the place where they stay, and then they've got less interest. They've got less interest in chasing after you for one tanker.
This was vengeance.
Just a thought.
This was just all vengeance.
Well, I know it was vengeance, but yeah, tactically it's a bit.
But it was pretty.
You're right.
Sorry, I'm thinking logically here. But
yeah.
But anyway, it does look good, yes.
Mm-hmm. And that's what he's thinking. He's like,
"Holy
bloody good!
Holy shit!
Fuck you!
I always wanted to blow it up."
Yeah. And look at that shot.
Yeah, that's great.
That's from where Mad Max was watching them originally. Yep. Mm-hmm. You see that big, expansive landscape. It's like, damn, that's a mushroom cloud. Everybody's dead. Nobody got out of that one.
Yep.
Unfortunately, there was only like 3 motherfuckers.
Three guys in there,
which is a little too
Yeah.
bad.
True.
Of course.
Low body
Yeah,
count.
And in the meantime, the rest of you know, like all the 20 of the other guys are after Max and the rig.
Yeah. This scene was
This
awesome.
is the greatest chasing in history.
That's fantastic.
Well, yeah, I would say when you see Fury Road, you go back now, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That ending scene with it's basically the same thing, except it's a little more it's bigger in Fury Road, but it's
Fury
Exactly.
Road, yeah, Fury
It's,
Road. They get
it's
a
nowhere
lot.
near as good as the cartoon wacky races. I mean, that was the best.
no,
chase.
no.
Now with more
Yeah,
amps,
going
now with more
back.
guitars.
Guitars, yeah, but you can see
Guitars,
obviously
yeah.
when you we go watch that and go back to this. That's all I was thinking. I was like, holy shit, this was way ahead of its time, man. This was beautifully shot.
Yeah,
Yes,
Fu-
you got
Fury
shots,
Road.
man.
What Fury
Oh.
Road has on top of this is just technical.
It's newer, yeah. So
It's
Well,
just
they
more.
can do a lot more because they had
technology is better, yeah.
more technical. Yeah, the technology
Yeah.
was a lot better.
But for its
But
time,
this
this is
is-
incredible.
But this
This
is
is the
yeah.
template.
This is still
Unbelievable. Oh, it
Like-
holds
like
up, yeah.
Like I said earlier, though, it really immerses you in the chase. You
Mhm.
don't
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like you're watching the chase. You feel like you're in the chase.
In it, yes. Those camera angles are just like low. You're like looking right at the grill of the car.
I think George Miller pretty much when he did Fury Road, he was like, "What happens if I just take the end of
Road Warrior.
Mad Max 2 and
Yeah.
just make it the whole film?"
It's basically what it was.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's great. Okay. Well, there you go. I want one of
There's
those for my car.
another version of that fucking the 4 arrow shooter.
Yeah.
or-
This is my favorite car. The whole thing. You know, it's a little. Was it a pickup truck with whole thing back cut out, or
Is this
Yeah,
supposed
that's
to be
what
an
it looks
LA?
like.
Is this
and
supposed to be a
lowered.
Los Angeles freeway?
Ouch.
it's like a. It's
Sorry.
one of those things of Tales
the
of the
truth hurts.
Future.
Yeah.
LA Freeway, 19. You know,
And so
2023.
the guy from Jefferson Starship
Here's
is
rebuilt.
running the port here.
This is
I
the
own a
thing
pair of
that
those
always
goggles.
pisses me off. Why do they put people with goggles that never fucking wear them? It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
this
right.
is
Really,
look out of my
goggles for a
forehead,
reason.
dumb fuck.
It's supposed to look
Hello,
cool.
I am the costume designer. You are not trying
Wait
to
a
be
minute.
cool here.
We have
Can't
them on
tell
your
the story if
forehead.
my face is covered. I have to show my face.
He has a very sensitive forehead.
Yeah.
So
He's
ma-
trying to
the-
Whatever, you are shallow. I am not.
This guy's like, I don't have a door.
so they harpoon his door, it gets ripped off. He's like, God damn it, now I'm cold. They're
Oh, that
trying to
is-
get on top of the tanker. That's
The
just,
barbed
you know,
wire
so they
on
can
the side.
like a boarding party.
Yeah, it's like a.
And so
Hot girl.
so pretty girl with
girl.
the crimped hair.
Oh, come on. It's Xena. For
Makes a
crying
really
out loud.
stupid
Just
movie.
get Xena.
Xena
it's-
warrior princess.
That's
I
right.
don't
RoboCop
understand what her goal is here. You've put yourself totally exposed
I
on
know.
top of the truck.
Well, she
Yeah.
is a woman, so
This is Jennifer Lawrence.
no offense, women. No offense.
This is an
Man, it's like-
exceptional woman, though.
Don't worry, women.
Oh,
Reason
yeah,
is that
yeah.
Women
besides
won't
this, she
understand
fucking
what you're
gets
talking
heroin.
about. Don't worry about it.
Said it's still a woman, though.
She won't understand what you're talking
Logic.
about. And take away.
So just
Reason
below
and
her football
accountability.
gear, she takes an arrow.
Mm,
And then they
yeah.
try to drag her body off because, you know, what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
This
This
gets
hot,
pretty-
you know, they know.
fucked
They
up.
know.
Are they smashing the corpse?
I
They-
bet
they're
they
gonna
would.
smash that corpse.
they
You know
may
what?
be,
Those days they might.
They're
They're
going to make it a
probably
hot soupy. They're going to make it a hot soupy mess when they're done here.
Right.
So you got two of the cop looking dudes pulling
Mm.
the body off, and everything it just drops under and it makes a big mess.
By the way, in terms of how cold blooded these people are, I mean the supposed good guys. Now they don't need the guy who is the genius mechanic and oil refinery guy. They'll
Right?
actually
Oh, yeah.
on the truck.
Yeah.
He's relegated to be Molotov guy.
Yeah.
There is
Mm.
no fucking way I would have put that guy on the tank.
Yeah, who fucking burns himself
Fucking
anyways?
insane.
Yeah.
We can't feel his legs, so
He
it
can't
doesn't
feel his
matter,
like he's like it's all right. Like
He's like,
I've
I'm
lost-
okay. His hands are on fire. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm good. Cool.
That's funny.
Yeah, his use is over. Fuck him. So yeah.
So Don's about ready to board the tanker here.
Cyclops.
You
in
got
the
you
last
got like
scene.
this one dude, Viking dude with claw hand,
Oh yeah.
gets through, just kind of latches on to Max, The shotgun shells go all over the fucking cabin. Animal Boy is just like, get off, starts biting on the dude. Papagayo's trying to get the kid to get out of the truck and come with him. He's like, jump, boy, jump.
With his
not
surplus hockey gear.
His surroundings at all.
No.
You know,
see,
you're
I told you
surrounded
it was
by
hockey
bad guys.
gear.
Surrounded.
But you're focusing on this so much, you were totally oblivious to the actual danger, which is Humungus coming up behind you and throwing a fucking harpoon into you. And there it is.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
I'm going to be honest. I'm looking at the angle of where that engine pops up. I don't know how Humungus got that shot off.
When I was a kid, I was always like, that doesn't seem logical.
Hey, listen, he's Humungus, okay? So
yeah.
That would have been a hell of an angle.
I want to say that. I just want to say that car design is fucking cool.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like an engine. It's just a jet engine, is what it looks like.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a jet engine and wheels.
I like how they did the body work.
It looks like a stripped apart Oscar Mayer mobile.
But the amount of effort that went into making that.
The wiener looks like when circumcised.
You know,
Road Warrior cars,
70s.
Actually made any of these.
They were probably trying to make some sort of patrol vehicle, something that could go out and come back really, really fast.
There he goes with his harpoons again.
So this is harpoon number 2. And the gyro captain drops a fucking Molotov on him. It's basically a fuck off. But, you know, and so that's the Lord Humungus's vehicle is on fire at this point. So he's off the road. I'm not quite sure why this happens, and maybe somebody can explain it to me because I'm not that clever.
He
why
turns
does Max
back
do a
around.
U-turn here?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he made it. It just didn't seem logical. Didn't make tactical
because
sense.
you're slowing your vehicle down.
Way more exposed.
You're allowing people to cut you off at this point.
Yeah,
it's just trying to hit them with the truck.
Well, there may be a practical filming reason for it in that they only had a certain stretch of road they could use. So maybe the thing,
and that's probably
turnaround
the best solution to this because in the context of the
It
film,
didn't make
itself,
sense.
But it looks cool as fuck.
It does look cool.
Oh, you know,
stopping around, turn around, and
he turns around so he can run over huge mungus.
So Humungus is back. He's burnt. He's crispy. Yeah. That throbbing vein is a little sore right now. He sends the Animal Boy out on the hood to get there's one of the shotgun shells that's just rattling around out there. Get out, go get it. Get the bullet. That's kind of a tough situation to put the kid in. One, I think that hood would probably be pretty fucking hot, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, Max isn't the ideal father. I mean, he let his other kid die.
He's got some parental issues for sure. Yeah.
So Don, who we think died earlier, pops up off the front of the truck, and the kid screams. Don screams. Max screams. Everybody screams. And this goes on for a second. Max is trying to pull the kid back, and then everybody looks forward. This is funny.
Yep.
Oh,
this is the definition of dying,
waiting for
squealing like
Lord
a pig.
Humungous, and you just
those poor assless chaps, man.
Oh god,
no protection at all.
No,
he was grilled by that semi.
That was a humongous explosion.
Yeah, finally he was the one getting reamed.
He became a power bottom totally. Right
oh man!
If this was a modern film, he'd go up your ass.
For about an eighth of a second, they became a fireball.
That was a great scene, though.
As a shot, it was fucking.
Oh, it was great. Yeah.
I wonder how that pre-production went when they're like, "Yeah, I want to run a semi through a car. Like, what's that going to take?" And they probably went back and forth like, well, you could do it with like models, and he's like, no, I want to run a
real
semi
truck and a real car,
through a fucking car. How are we going to do
How much
this?
do we got to pay the guy for that?
Right.
Yeah, Copa, I don't think you get what the production was actually like on this show. I really don't think it was any more than we're going to run a semi through another car, and they were like, yeah, let's do it, man.
Let's do it.
That's how we do it down under.
So,
to pieces on screen forever, man.
Yeah.
They're just looking at this going like, well, I guess we're fucking done.
Yeah, over.
We're going to tell Lady Humongous and get back to Humungusville, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It took the entire semi to kill Humungus, though. You got to give him that. You know. Oh, then it
And
drops over.
Max managed to get out with Animal Child, and he looks down. He's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah, it's all dirt.
Mhm.
There is no fuel in the tanker, and then in this, I mean, you've seen the camera coming up on the tanker in the scene, and you see all the sand coming out. I know before, but Max didn't see that. We saw it, and so he now realizes it was a fucking distraction.
Right.
That's all it was.
It
A
totally
diversion
worked, though.
so that everyone would chase him instead of chasing the people.
It worked. They don't have enough speed to catch up to those people now.
I like this a lot. So he's looking there, not in very good shape. And who shows up? It's the gyro captain.
Gyro
and he's just
man.
driving down the road in that thing at this point because he crashed.
Yeah.
And he looks at him, he looks at him, and Max gets his fucking fuck.
Yeah, he can't help but smirk.
Fucking everybody, you fucking lived.
I think he actually likes the game that he was played in. Like he's like, well,
Yeah,
played.
he would have
Well
done
played.
the same. If
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, yes, he totally got it.
He would have
totally,
done it.
You got it. Yeah.
Hey, somebody pop up Jacob's most recent comment. This is fantastic news.
Yes.
Was
That's
that allowed?
really
Oh, he had to
incredible.
do surgery? Oh my God.
Wow.
Just make sure he didn't have any food in his guts, so they had to go in.
See, that's
Well,
what I
that makes
mean, man.
sense.
It's like balls
That's
to the
hardcore.
wall, man. Yeah, let's do
That
it.
is hard.
Commitment.
We're in
Yeah.
the
So you might
CGI shit.
fucking-
It's,
In case your intestines come out, we can't have you eaten because you might have to have surgery. You all right with that?
Oi, mate,
Nope.
you
Gonna
don't
get
want
like
to
an
ship.
extra point later.
No
Well, mate,
Vegemite
if you're-
sandwiches.
If you're dead, we don't want you shit yourself.
Yeah.
That's right. The stunt guy needs to put on the costume right afterwards in case we need to do a take two.
clean underwear all the way through.
So as it turns out, the fuel was in the other vehicles. I mean, a
Mhm.
lot of it was in the bus, but it was just throughout their fleet of the other vehicles that went the other direction, which was a fucking brilliant move. Monkey Boy gets scooped up and they take him off. They just say fuck off to Max apparently, or he says he doesn't want to go, and they leave him behind. And their caravan heads towards the coast, to the mythical city on the
To-
coast.
Yeah, to
Right.
paradise.
They become the
Paradise.
Great Northern Tribe.
The Great Northern Tribe. And this is I do like, so in the narration in the beginning of the film when he's talking about the story, you don't realize who's telling the story
Mhm.
Right.
until now. And he says, you know, the gyro captain took over, he became the leader of our group, and ultimately as I grew into manhood, I became the leader of the Great Northern Tribe.
Mhm.
So I mean, what that does though, all this chaos aside, it does give hope at the end of this story that humanity,
it.
despite itself,
Mhm.
has found a way. This group made it to where they were going to
Yes.
go, and they're not
Right.
just them now. The Great Northern Tribe, in your mind, creates a much broader image as far as the scope of what
Yes.
these people have done.
Scale of how many
It makes,
people,
yeah, it makes me think that they actually did find that paradise in that
Yes,
brochure.
or
he
something
was-
like
Yeah.
They've recreated
Or
some
they
kind of
made it.
society. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
yeah, and society lives on.
Right.
leaving out the mythology of it, if they can just find the damn ocean, they can make a civilization.
Right.
Right.
That
Yeah,
and
look-
fresh water.
Yep.
Provided they have a fresh water source.
Well, if you find the ocean, you'll be able to find rivers. The rivers flow into the ocean.
Right.
Well, yes and no. That can be an awful lot of searching.
Well,
So-
yeah,
strictly
that's a
speaking,
lot
they-
of
Strictly speaking,
cartography trying to find that
some
river.
of them will know where they're going because they are Australians and they're in Australia. So they've probably got an idea of where they're headed to.
If you know how to make alcohol, you can make
Or
purified
wherever
water
they
from
are,
water.
if they're in Canada,
They know how to
it's gonna
boil
be-
water, I'm pretty sure. So,
Yeah.
Well,
Well, if in
yeah, but you
Canada
can't
you
boil
had to-
salt water. That doesn't
Yeah.
work. But if you
In
live in San
Canada-
Diego and you try to find a fresh fucking water source, you're going to be looking for a long fucking time. I'm just
You
telling
put
you.
alcohol through a still like you make booze, and that would purify it.
So this
Wow.
end shot is
Oh, this is
really
great.
This is when he's talking about, I became the leader of the Great Northern Tribe, and the Road Warrior. That was the last time we saw him. He lives now only in my memories.
It's a great way to end,
Really-
end his
It is.
mythos.
It's-
Yes,
The beginning and the end are the same
That's
spot.
such a
and
great
Yep.
line.
It's just fucking
totally
beautiful.
in the myth. He lives in myth.
Yeah.
mhm.
Beautiful shot.
Yeah.
And that's a great movie. I'm happy I watched it again because I hadn't seen it in a really long time. I'm gonna find Jacob said he sent the the scene. Is this it here, Jacob? I guess.
Yeah, I messed up when I was saying.
No,
when,
that's not it, Jacob. That is not the same thing.
Oh God.
Don't hang on. I gotta try to find it.
Good one. That was a good
Jacob,
one.
I love you so much.
This movie really holds up, though. 1981.
Oh, 100%.
No digital, digital, no computer shit. It's all practical. That always holds up.
Yeah.
It doesn't waste any time either. It does it tells exactly the story it wants to tell. There's no padding.
Yeah, that's all done within an hour and a half.
Get out.
And another thing they don't do is mention any particular political leaders. They don't even mention country names, right? No. There's no Cold War. There's no Russia mentioned, right? It's like it's a blank slate. It's a totally separate world. It doesn't.
Yeah, 14 seconds.
So this is where the guy breaks his leg.
No.
This one.
Yeah.
That one there.
Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
Oh,
dude! You see the guy flipping through the air like that?
Yeah,
Jesus.
And if you freeze it, apparently if you freeze it, you could see where it snapped underneath his knee, where his shin snapped.
I don't want to.
Yes, you
that's
wow.
Fuck up.
I can handle blood and all kinds of shit. I can handle like people's legs being like
snapped
going a direction it shouldn't be ever.
No, thank you.
Yeah. So thank you, Jacob, for sharing that, because
that was cool.
We needed to see that in real life. That looked extremely.
All those extras must have been stunt people, because they were all driving, those vehicles.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Or
fire going off and crashes and
or just people in Australia just like that,
Well, yeah, there was, smack up derbies back in those days. There were stunt drivers and daredevils performing in arenas back in those days. So,
that's true. It was like the motherfuckers who would ride in the cages.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They did some crazy shit back then. Things they no one does now.
Like,
you could say that Monster Truck is kind of like a great grandson of all of that, but it's so clean,
sanitized.
Oh yeah. Out in Australia,
in the desert,
they actually have a museum for the Road Warrior, and they have a lot of interceptor, full version working interceptors.
No kidding.
And they recreated that refinery in a different location, but close to it. So you can go to that refinery and have a full-on Road Warrior experience if you want to.
So if you find yourself in the middle of the fucking desolate Australian outback, and you're like, that looks like the refinery for Mad Max. It's actually a delightful museum.
It is.
Yeah,
do you get to find out? Do you get a brother
idea
experience?
That if you just visit the region around Australia and pop over to New Zealand, you could catch Lord of the Rings and the Road Warrior in one visit.
Let's do that.
What do we got here, Matt? Oh, baby.
Oh
my God.
Look at that thing.
Yeah.
That was actually a fake manifold on there. It didn't really do anything. Now, in the movie,
next you're going to tell me it wasn't really a V8 either.
Shush. Anyway, he flipped the thing.
Apparently, it's in the Miami Auto Museum.
Oh, wow.
But somebody actually made a real version of this thing. And I always wanted to drive one of these fuckers in Australia. Yeah. Just click and just like,
Yeah, man.
It's badass.
Could you imagine
because I was searching for this Road Warrior cars in real life to see if I could find anyone making these cars,
Could you imagine how, like, the first time driving it and you're not used to it and you just step out of that car and your calf hits that side pipe?
Ouch.
You're on fire.
Oh, yeah.
So there's information about the actual stuff used in there.
Look at this GeoCities type website.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Wow. Old school.
Oh, dear.
It might not be
guys.
I'm gonna
have to pull out of the stream for a second. If I don't wander back in a few minutes, I hear some things going on. So talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to try to get back here in just a second to close this out.
Take care of the drama, sir.
We'll vape. Yeah, there's like a whole
people actually made those cars, like they use for themselves.
Yes.
And
a lot of people make those, and they have like recreations, car enthusiasts.
I bet you anything you could probably build one out of like an mid to late 80s Camaros. Just get like
There are certain cars that are made for the Australian market though that were only for Australia. And I think in the original Mad Max movie, a lot of those movie cars were specific to the Australian region. So that's why it kind of has that kind of like weird look, like these are kind of like cars you would think maybe, but not really.
Yeah, it gives me like Camaro vibes.
I'm definitely getting Knight Rider vibes from that face.
That's a Pontiac, right? Pontiac Firebird.
Mm-hmm.
Like a late model Pontiac Firebird, or like 80s
Trans Am or something,
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right, that makes me want to look it up.
The original Interceptor from Mad Max is up for sale again.
Yeah, it keeps. They make it's for sale every once in a while.
No surprise nowadays.
So the Orlando
the car began life as a '73 Ford Falcon. That's right. There are a lot of Fords that this is based off of, and they are made. Like I said, they're made specifically for the Australian Asian market. So that's why we never saw them here in America quite like these.
Interesting.
That's a beautiful looking car, though.
Yeah,
Ford Falcon. Like without any of the body work for Mad Max, I'm gonna put it.
I'll mute this, but this is a Mad Max fan recreates the Interceptor.
Let's hear it.
That shit.
I can't hear it.
I have it muted, so I don't know. People play copyrighted music on their videos.
Yeah.
As well as their videos too. So be careful.
Yeah.
Don't give me a copyright strike at the end of the video, dude.
Yeah, for crying out loud.
There you go. So I need to wrap this up anyway.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I've exceeded my
allowance.
allowed time.
We could go another 3 hours on this movie.
We could. So what I will do though is in the not terribly distant future, we can talk about Mad Max 3 briefly. I don't want to spend a lot of time on that movie because I think it's mostly a shit movie, but I do want to talk about Fury Road because there's an awful lot of material we can talk about there.
Oh yeah.
So we can talk about let's say we give Mad Max 3 about a half hour, and a timer will go off and say, "All right, we're fucking done with Mad Max 3," and then go into Fury Road where we can actually spend some genuine time discussing the aspects of that movie. And I'll try to hit this panel up again if you guys are willing to do that, because I think this was a lot of fun talking about Road Warrior, which in my opinion is the best of the franchise,
hands down.
If you haven't watched
Thunderdome is I think like number 7 in the franchise for me. So.
I prefer the abridged 30-minute long version of Thunderdome. That's the better.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna get.
Exactly. Literally just the first half of the movie. So let's see. Next Thursday, I think I'm going to be doing probably a shorter stream on The Last of Us because I do want to talk about that. There's a real mixed bag of reactions around that show, so I want to discuss the first 3 episodes.
Blair seems to like it.
Yeah, he loves it.
Salty loves The Last of Us. So actually, February 2nd is going to be that show. So what's February 9th?
Good night, Jacob.
See you, Jacob.
All right, Jacob.
Hi, Jacob.
Thank you for the memes, buddy. So maybe February 9th, if you guys are open to it, just get to look at your calendars and I'll throw it your way.
February 9th, the comic book part 3.
Is that day?
Oh, yeah.
I thought February 9th. No, we moved that to the 16th.
No?
I thought.
Okay.
Yeah. Comic books part 3 is the 16th.
It's the 16th at 5 p.m.
Here it is. Yeah, that's the 16th. So the 9th is open. So let's, like I said, look at your calendars. I'll throw out hey, remember we talked about this thing in a couple of days. That way you can put it down because I know everybody has a lot of shows that they do. So it's easy to step on each other's freaking junk, so to speak. But
like an arrow to the junk.
Especially
it's
with
like
that.
an arrow to the junk, poor Papagayo.
The harpoon to the back.
A Mack truck up your ass.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do want to say thank you very much to the chat for hanging in there. We had just so much good input tonight. You guys were fantastic, and thank you. And thank you very much to my panel. And we'll go around the horn here. That way you guys can let me know what you got going on, and we can say farewell. So Shieldwall, what's coming up for you, buddy?
I got a few things coming up. I got a stream with Jacob Ironside on the 26th, I think. We're going to be talking about The Princess Bride. And then
I love The Princess Bride. That is a great movie.
Yeah, and then
I just got the DVD special edition of that for 99 cents in a thrift shop.
Really, yeah, it's awesome. Awesome movie.
Nice find.
And then if you invite me back on, we'll talk about the other things.
No, walk away, Shieldwall. Just walk away.
Yeah, there it is. Look at that.
Yeah. Wow. 99 cents Canadian, by the way. 99 cents Canadian.
I still need to get the Criterion.
What is that in actual dollars?
Three Nuka-Cola, three Nuka-Cola caps.
Yeah, there you go.
Equivalent.
So thanks for having me on tonight. This was great. Great panel. Always, being able to learn so much from everybody on here. It's good to get AJ's input on this. As fresh eyes on the movie. So that's good.
Thank you, AJ.
Yep.
I plan on being here for the long haul, so I will watch them in order if we talking about them.
You really only need to watch the first half of Thunderdome
of the third
because that's
one,
pretty much all we're going to talk about. Because
he needs to watch.
At one point, I'll just say the fucking kids, and it'll be over.
He needs to watch the whole thing just so he knows what we're all talking about.
So he can
That's a good point.
Why should we be the only ones to suffer?
Yeah, we'll suffer too. If he's here for the long haul, he needs to suffer with us.
I'll do it.
And remember, Copa's Sicilian, so we got a fucking thing about pain.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
AJ will know what's up when he gets to the I Like Turtles kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna message us all in here. I got it now, guys.
Yeah. Go downhill from right here.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah, either that or he's just going to say, fuck you, fuck you, fuck
Thanks,
you.
thanks, assholes.
yeah. So but anyway, thanks for having me on. It's a great time. Awesome.
Oh, so that streams for the Princess Bride is on the 31st with Jacob.
Oh, it's on the 31st. Okay.
And his popcorn with Jacob Ironside. Those are great streams. They are
those are
a lot
good.
of fun.
Yeah,
indeed. They're great.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry
So-
about that, Jacob. I'm a little loopy. I'm on a lot of medication right now because I'm sick. But
And thank you for hanging in here. I know you weren't feeling great tonight, so thank you for doing it.
I wouldn't miss this. This was a great panel and great movie to talk about.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you, brother. Matt, the Unbearable 73. What do you got coming up, buddy?
Just walk away and leave your subscriptions and your likes for Roman. If you don't walk away, I will start making really bad sequels. Not Mad Max, Highlander sequels. So just walk away.
No.
Walk away.
No, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as a Highlander sequel.
That's right.
Yeah, that
Never happened.
Aside from
Didn't
bad
happen.
impressions of movie characters, what do I got going on?
Oh, God. So bad, dude.
Like, Max! So I'm doing some reactions to wrestling and horror videos. We're working on my Bleach reviews for the final season 17 of it. That's about it right now. It's kind of a low content time for me. Trying to have a lot of real life stuff going on, so I got to squeeze what I can.
Got it. Got it.
Well,
thank you for being here, buddy.
Yep.
Copa.
Yo.
First. Share your book.
well-
Share your book. You have to share your book. It's one of the rules.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Show the book. God.
Look, me. I write.
That's how he writes in the book too.
I write
God
book.
damn it.
It's words.
He's the Hemingway of our day. That's-
Yeah.
He's not just a pretty face.
No.
Space. Pow pow. Please buy.
The end.
I try to help here. God damn it.
He's a writer, ladies and gentlemen.
I put words together.
He's a writer, not a speaker.
Entertain.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
No, my book, Why Not Wichita? Sci-fi action adventure. You have a warrior girl who's just trying to get a vacation after she's protecting a city for a while. She's tired. She wants a vacation. She has to fight for it. So they're all after
Much
her.
like the crimp-haired girl on top of the tanker.
Exactly. I was thinking of her the entire time I was writing. I was like, I want that hot chick with the crimped hair.
And would that be available at all good online booksellers?
Yes, it will be on Amazon. It's on Amazon exclusively, but I'm going to branch out further.
Right on.
As I go.
What else you got
here.
coming up, buddy?
So tomorrow we have the Freedom Stream over on this guy's channel, on Cannoli's channel. And then next week we have our Triple M Mischief Mayhem movie, where we're going to be talking about the ever so funny comedy Mean Girls. Because if anything says Mean Girls, it's this face and that face
and
over
me
here. Yeah,
just a bunch of gals jabbing about.
We're just John. We're just John about.
Don't worry, we're gonna
Girls.
follow it up with a much better movie after that week. But for now,
and then that Tuesday, next week, I'm going to be on Tyler the Redbeard's first live stream. We're going to be ranking Star Wars films and TV shows and books and video games.
Oh, that's a lot. Nice. That's a lot.
It's going to be a lot.
Waters.
Awesome.
Hey.
And one last thing, my review for Bullet Train just dropped on my channel.
Yeah, I watched it. That was really
awesome
good.
Video, dude.
Thank you.
That thing hops, man. It really does. That thing bounces.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. So go check that out if you haven't, and check out my channel and subscribe. And
stop begging.
I write books.
It got
I make video.
Yeah, man. It was going okay. Then it got desperate. So. CannoliSasquatch, what do you got coming up, man? Thank you so
well,
much
he gave it all away already. So tomorrow on my channel, my Whiskey and Cannolis podcast is the Freedom Stream. It's all about the Second Amendment, why it's even more important to fight for it now and going forward into the country's future. So I got a good panel coming on for that. And then again, Monday, just a bunch of lovely girls talking about Mean Girls and with the White Bear and Vex Electronica. And I guess people are dressing up in character for this. So
we're
all supposed to dress like our high school selves because it's a high school movie. I don't know what that means. So
it means you're showing up in a bra and a dress.
Shh, I told you that in secrecy.
Is there a wig as well? I want to see him in a wig. If there's not a wig, I don't know if I'm going to be.
I had the same. I had short hair. It just wasn't white.
I'm the one with the wig.
So. Yeah, Copa's going to actually. He's going to put his Mel Gibson wig back on that he did.
And you can braid your back hair up and just flip it over your head.
I noticed you said a brand and a dress, but no panties. No panties.
No, of course not.
No. So yeah, I got those two streams coming up.
This is sounding like more like an OnlyFans stream,
right on,
or more.
Well, that's what I'm trying to lead into. I need money. So.
That's how it all started at the end. It goes fine, and then here at the end is
exactly.
Blair de Blair, my favorite wizard of the interwebs. What do you got coming up, buddy?
This has been the greatest stream I've ever been part of. My most favorite movie, and all you guys. AJ, it's been great to see you. I've been following your work too. The stream has been brought to you by Vodka and Java Infusion.
Nice.
They're my sponsors, so I got to plug them at least once. Coming up next, I'm going to be on the next Roman of Roman Empire for the further adventures of Max Krasinski. Also, Lasso of Truth has started streaming now. She's doing a lot of horror stuff. So I'm going to be part of those. I really like the horror genre, so I'm going to be talking that with her. Also, I've been with Jacob Ironside in the past, so maybe next month I'll be on some of his stuff. So yeah,
he said horror, right? I thought he said
he made sure to pronounce it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he didn't slur that one.
I gotcha.
I tried to make sure it was a proper.
Yeah, it was very enunciated.
It's probably the vodka. I'm not saying it's definitely the vodka, but it's the vodka.
For that word, it's both the vodka and the pronunciation. Yeah, I get that properly.
Hey, man, one is a horror and the other one is a pimp, okay? There's a difference between the two.
I got you.
God damn it. that 70s rock fan. Thank you for being. I'm glad I was able to hook you in for a whole show, buddy. What do you?
Well, thanks for having me, mate, and thanks to everybody else in the panel for putting up with me. I appreciate being here. Thank you, and to the chat, you're all wonderful. I mean, it's super busy on my channel. That 70s rock fan. I actually went to a physical cinema yesterday for only the second time in 5 years to see the Indian movie Pathan, action spy thriller starring Shah Rukh Khan. Fucking amazing. Kicked ass.
So, those Indians are killing it with cinema. They're just
showing up as
crushing it.
Westerners, man.
Well, someone
Honestly,
needs to be. So
You
I'm glad
just gotta
someone
get up
stepped
and cheer when you watch this movie. You get up
Wow.
and you cheer. It's so good. So I've got a video on my channel about that, reviewing that. I've also put a couple of my montages up from my live shows up today. Not tomorrow, Saturday night, I'll do my bourbon and boarding show with Brahma Bull, where we drink and talk about hockey, which is a lot of fun. And next Monday is the second one of my Canon film specials. This time we'll be Touchwood Razorfist's going to be there again for this one. And the guy that wrote the Canon film guides is definitely going to be appearing, Austin Trunick. That guy's absolutely literally wrote the book on Canon, so that's going to be fantastic. And we're going to focus on Monday on the ninja movies in particular.
Oh yes,
Because we were
Nice.
so wide on the first episode, we were all over the place. This time we're going to narrow it down and just do the ninja stuff. So I've been prepping hard for that, and that's going to be a ton of fun.
So
good stuff.
enter the ninja.
So Enter the Ninja,
Whoa,
the
whoa,
Ninja,
whoa,
what they
whoa,
loosely
whoa.
call the trilogy, which is Enter, Revenge, and Domination, and then the 5 American Ninja movies as the 8
Wait,
movies we're going to be doing.
when all this put together, it
The
sounds
fourth American
really
Ninja
weird.
film
I'm
is
just picturing
horrible.
5 dudes behind a
Completely
couch
horrible.
and one guy sitting in a ninja suit. That's not the same Enter the Ninja, right?
pretty much. Pretty much.
We're going to Ninja 1, I'll call it then instead of Enter the
Yeah.
Ninja.
Penetrating the ninja.
If you look at the
Oh,
titles,
poor
there's a,
ninja. He
there's a
didn't even see it
Dominator,
coming.
there's a Confrontation, there's a whatever. The titles are all could be
Ninja,
misinterpreted.
Ninja 3, The Domination, but
The
it's there's no
Domination.
actual Ninja 1 and 2.
Which is the
Oh.
weirdest of all of them. That's the weirdest of all
Well,
of the 8 movies.
I get that from the title.
That's
It's
like
uncomfortable
science
already.
fiction-y. Great stuff. I mean, actually, tonight, The Road Warrior is the best Canon movie that Canon never made, in my opinion.
I would agree. It has that vibe.
Yeah, it has
a
that vibe for
vibe.
sure.
But anyway, that's Monday. It's last one we did had it partly because Razorfist was a guest. It just went through the roof. So we're really looking forward to this one. But anyway,
Was Chuck Norris's
Right
The
on.
Octagon Canon movie? That's
Chuck Norris did a lot
Yeah.
of Canon.
Yeah, it was like
Exactly.
Base USA was one, right?
Well, he did about 8 or 9
Yeah.
in the
Chuck
end.
Norris did
Missing
a
in
really
action.
good ninja movie
Missing
called
in
The
action.
Octagon. It's
Delta
like
Force.
really good.
Canon movies are
We'll
fucking
do
great.
Chuck further down the line, so to speak. We're going to
Okay.
do Ninja this time. There'll be Chuck, there'll be Charles Bronson,
Yeah.
and then others. We're going to try and keep these going throughout the year, maybe every month.
Oh,
we
right
do a
on, man.
Canon.
Sweet.
I was there. I was there in the 80s when the Canon
Yes.
films were coming out. Those were good days.
Then we're going to move on to Orion Pictures. 'Cause they had a
Ooh,
lot.
right,
nice.
dope. That's a pretty big
Oh, yeah.
library there.
So
Yeah,
I've
'cause
got
they're
so
like
much,
legit.
much material, so little time. You know, I've got video plans for multiple videos right now. I just can't get to them. But soon.
You quit your job and
I
just do videos.
Job? What's a job? That's
Job?
hard.
I don't need
Walk
money.
away. Walk
I
away
don't
from
need
the
no
job.
stinking
Just,
job.
just walk away.
There
Walk
it
away.
is.
Leave the money behind.
Walk away.
Yeah, but thanks for having me, guys. Thank you.
Well, thank you, buddy. It was really good to have you. I'm glad we were able to pull one of these together. And I will hit you up for the 9th of February, though. So check your very busy calendar and see if you can you can come back.
The ultimate deciding factor is she who must be obeyed. So.
It's true. It's true. Because if I don't have someone with an accent on the panel, then we don't really do very well. So I just need.
I have an accent.
I either need a girl or I need someone with an accent. So I might have to trade you for boobs. Either one of the two.
Living in land down under. There you go. I'm an Aussie.
So again, thanks, pal. And Abomination AJ, the new kid on the panel. Thank you for being here, buddy. What do you got coming up? You always got a lot of things going on too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I always got a lot of things going on. Nothing's really planned. Besides the show on Saturday, Heroes No Capes. Check that out. Me and my homie Left Eye Ego. We have conversations, geek talk, pop culture. Try to keep it fun. As far as videos, I mean, I'm working on videos. Nothing planned. I'm just a real go with the flow type person. Honestly, right now I'm working on a Puss in Boots reaction. I figure nobody here would really be interested in that.
I heard it was really good.
I'm interested.
I heard it was like the better of the like Shrek movies.
Totally disagree, man. Totally
Okay, cool.
disagree.
I'm interested, AJ. I'll watch it for you,
Let's
buddy.
hear it.
To be
I
fair,
appreciate
you
it.
can't trust AJ because he doesn't like Lord of the Rings. So really,
Oh,
But I respect it. I respect it.
Hey,
I
that's
look
all
at
we
y'all a
ask.
little. I look at y'all a little different with the leather and the chaps from this movie, but hey, I'm still experiencing it with you.
yeah. That's a good point.
accepted.
Yeah. Pin
So,
for a 3 count.
No, and again, so thank you, AJ. I'm glad because I've been trying to get AJ on for a while. I'm glad you're able to come on tonight. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I appreciate the opportunity to learn from you guys and get the experience, y'all.
Just say we're old.
Culture.
Just say it, man.
Yeah.
Say you
The
old
old
people. You
Well,
old
so,
people.
so remember, you got homework, buddy. You got to watch. You're being forced to watch Thunderdome, which I'm sorry about, and then Fury Road, which I'm less sorry about because I actually like Fury Road. So
I stream
February
the
9th,
agent.
it'll be 5 Pacific Standard again on February 9th. We'll be looking at those two movies, one for a little bit and one for a lot. So I'll hit you up for that one as well. And my good friend just to the north of me in the occupied territory of California, StephenRansom. What's coming up for you, buddy?
Hey, man, nothing coming up, but I got to throw a little sunshine on this panel. You guys are absolutely fantastic, man. I keep looking. 70s rock fans been doing this for a while. I've known him. He's been rocking it for a long time now. I'm really happy to hear about that ninja stream, man. That's you and T-shirt. That's a great combo. I mean, that brings a lot of heat to the topic. You know, he can chat. He can chat.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. I'm actually prepping the montage today, and I've got like 15 clips from all of the movies, and there's some music behind it. So
stars.
And Jacob isn't up here, but him and Shieldwall did an incredible discussion on Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That was amazing.
That was a great stream.
That was some fantastic stuff going on there. His slideshow was like right on point, had every topic right on screen the whole time. It was great. And CannoliSasquatch, I really have to catch your Second Amendment streams more often. I'm just like, I started working. I just got my first paycheck. I'm working 9 to 5 doing telemarketing for a construction company. It's like it takes almost everything out of me to keep a smile on my face. I'm trying to get back into it, and it's been fantastic to be on this panel, Roman. I really appreciate it, man. And I had no idea Lasso was coming back at it. Is that for real, Blair?
She's up to 5 episodes now, so now she's doing a regular thing now with Vinny Art.
That's fantastic. If you've never watched one of her streams, she's a real personality. She's got some real chutzpah in her. It's good stuff, man. I'm glad to hear it. Because she took a break from the whole thing for a bit, didn't she?
Yeah, she had to. She had some family things that came up. We don't have real life shit that happens to us, so
yeah,
she took care of it, and now she's back. So
that's great. No, that's all good to hear. And AJ. Dude, man, yeah, your go with the flow technique is really building up the catalog, and I will make a prediction that you're going to watch Thunderdome and come away with a classic AJ opinion on the subject.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, we got to hear it.
Because AJ, he'd be a bit contrary. He's just a tad contrary.
I love AJ because he's not afraid to tell his truth.
That much is certain.
Which is I love.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
What I like about that AJ is that you've not got the rose tinted glasses that us old guys have got.
It's true.
That I've seen them
Fresh
like
perspective,
50
yeah.
times,
Yes.
and we go, "Oh, isn't that a wonderful old movie?" You can see it
Mhm.
through not biased glasses, you know,
True.
which is
Yeah.
cool.
I appreciate that. I'm not a contrarian. I don't hate stuff just to do it. I give everything a fair shake. So, like I said, I'm let y'all
Let's
have
call
it.
it accidental contrarianism. So
Okay.
it's such a clear perspective, right? Coming from more of a video game age, right? It's like you've played more games than watched movies.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. But I always give reason as to why I don't like something.
That's right.
Well,
So,
yeah, and that's
there you
important. Not just saying I don't like it isn't a reason.
No. But yeah, I'm excited, man. That Blair de Blair, yeah. Shout out to you, StephenRansom. I see these guys been supporting me. Nice to stream with these guys now, and it's amazing. Like I keep saying, what I wanted to get into YouTube for is happening. So, hey, Roman shot me the invite a couple of times, and if I don't have something like really of value to add, I don't want to waste a spot for somebody who can really appreciate that and make the conversation better. So I was like, I'm gonna do this one for the team. I will learn. I will educate myself.
But it is a big value because like 70s rock fan was saying, we've all seen it. So to have someone with a fresh perspective to see it
helps
like
us
with fresh eyes, it's just like it's almost kind of like when you watch a movie and then you bring someone in and be like, hey, you got to watch this. And you kind of like watch them in the corner of their eye, of your eye.
You're excited. You're excited.
You're
to
like
hear
excited
reactions,
to like kind of live the movie again through them. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Bring
kind of
that-
nice to have you here to be like, oh, what did he think about this?
Bring that youth. You got to bring that youthful energy to us old folks, man.
Well,
Right.
what's the point of passing a torch down if no one's there to receive it, right?
That's
I mean,
right.
that's
Yeah.
what you're
That's
trying to
exactly
do,
what it is.
passing
Yeah.
the torch.
Exactly what
Good
it is.
point.
And he's not clouded with nostalgia because some of us probably saw this movie when we were little kids.
Right.
And maybe we saw it with somebody like a father or brother. Or
Hate to tell you, I was already about 18.
Yeah, and you know what I mean. So then you attach that memory to the movie, and maybe the movie seems better than it really was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So you have AJ to put the cold light of reality.
Keep us
on
in
it.
check,
Be
AJ.
like, nah,
That's right.
dog, that shit sucks.
Why the hell wearing assless caps? That's what I
Yeah.
want to know.
I want the
Yeah.
master's caps.
Why you guys like such gay ass movies?
This fucking guy's got veins at his
His
head.
fucking
and-
brother.
Yeah.
We don't know. We just-
Look, I'm glad y'all saying it. Oh man, like I said, we clearly knew who to root for. I'm glad everybody was rooting for the
The
same
guy
team.
who was dressed the guy who was dressed the most is the one you root for in that movie.
That's the guy. That's the guy.
He's got all his leather steel.
Lord. All right, guys. Well, again, thank you all so much for being here tonight. And chat, thank you for hanging out with us. And if you're rewatching this, please check out the details of the show. It's got everybody's data in it, their Twitter and their YouTube pages. So please go check that out. So next week on February 2nd, I believe February 2nd, at 5, we're going to be talking about the first 3 episodes of The Last of Us. Like I said, there's been a lot of buzz about that show, one way or the other. There's not a lot of middle ground, but I'm trying to find a balanced look at the
Blair's
show.
a fan.
So,
Blair's a fan.
Blair's a big
He's a
fan.
big fan.
Number one show right there. Yeah.
oh, so good, so good. And then on the 16th or on the 9th, we're going to be coming back and talking more Mad Max. And on the 16th, we're going to be doing comic books, the Groundbreaking Comics Volume 3. So we got a lot of good shows lined up, and hopefully you guys are here to enjoy them and the conversation with us. So with that, this has been Roman of the Empire, signing off. Be kind.
You